Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with WorldWide Willis. This podcast is brought to you by the LMG Podcast Network as usual. Now, today, we have my boy Pat in the house. What up, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me back. I'm looking forward more and more to these. Like every
Yeah,
week I listen, I'm like, oh, he should have got me in this episode. He should have got
yeah,
me in this episode.
I
There's so
like
many
it.
of them I want to get in, bro. I love it.
Yeah,
I
man.
love doing these. I'm glad to
I
be back.
appreciate it. Yeah, definitely love having you on. Yeah, today, we are going to get in the thick of it. So, today, we're going to talk about a little bit of the Fastlane card doesn't have much announced, but we'll kind of talk about the main match that is announced. Talk a little bit about the Usos. We'll discuss the latest releases that WWE has since the merger. We'll have a little GMO draft where I will smack Pat in.
Boss, it's
uh,
Cap. Don't let this man lie to y'all.
yeah, I'm gonna give him that work. I'm gonna show him how you write and construct a show. And then our top five will be top five belt designs of all time, or a lot of the belts could be from today or of all time, whichever we decide. So, firstly, we're going to start with the main announcement. Barring any COVID things, but we have John Cena and LA Knight versus the Bloodline, potentially main eventing Fastlane. We'll see if there's any championship matches, which I don't necessarily think there will be. But um, what do you think about this match? It's cool to see John Cena back and LA Knight getting that rub.
Yeah, that's the one good thing I think that's come from the writer strike. Obviously, other than them getting their money, I'm all for
Right,
people getting their money that they deserve. But
right,
having him able to his schedule open to be able to come back and do this, and like you said, give LA Knight that rub, um, huge. Like that's gonna be good for LA Knight. It's the bloodline. It's gonna I don't know, potentially hopefully set up at some point LA Knight a Roman thing, possibly somewhere,
yeah,
but it's keeping the bloodline in something and putting John Cena and obviously LA Knight, which everybody wants LA Knight to be in something. So
right,
that's gonna be a good one. It's gonna build multiple storylines, at uh the last pay-per-view with when LA Knight and John Cena kind of had that thing of like, hey, you almost cost me
yeah,
that. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see how they work as a team, if that's gonna build to them having a match, stuff like that. So, I don't know if I'm interested to see the actual match or just see like the storylines play out from it, if that makes any
right.
sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. I mean, I agree with you. Like, this is definitely more of a name match. It's not something we're gonna expect like a classic from, um, but you're right. Like it, I am happy to see like a bloodline cohesive story back a little bit. Like that's cool. The fractures and all that stuff, but it is kind of cool to see the bloodline jump in there and jump somebody again. You know what I mean? Or what I'm saying, stuff like that. And yeah, I think LA Knight seeing that's gonna be great. They're probably gonna have spots where they're gonna get into it. They're not gonna be just cohesive. You know what I mean? The egos are gonna clash a little bit, and I think that, like you said, it'll just make LA Knight look like he can stand toe to toe with John Cena. You know what I mean? Which is always good to see. And yeah, that'd be dope if it led to a LA Knight is caught up in a whole bloodline type of storyline, and then eventually he got to go meet the big dog. You know what I'm saying? So that would be cool. But yeah, I don't necessarily, like you said, I don't expect a classic, but I do, you know what I mean? It's definitely going to put some eyeballs on it. And that's the main point. So
That's always gonna be good. You think the Bloodline's taking the L? They have to, right?
I think, but then also I could see like, what if Roman showed up? You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't
I
think he
don't.
will,
Yeah,
but
there's no reason for him. Like that, nobody's mentioned Roman. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just been AJ Styles and like it's Jimmy doing the whole like stomping around, having a tantrum, and people telling him to chill
yeah,
out, and then
right.
him attacking people, and then wanting to get back in the bloodline. Um, so we'll see. I think they take the L. Because I think it'll be better for LA Knight in
Yeah.
the long run to have that W, even in a tag team match, have that the W under his belt.
I kind of wonder though, like if their goal is to rebuild the bloodline, right, to really make them stick. To me, it would make more sense for the bloodline to win, have Cena take the pin, because Cena don't care. He don't care at this point. Like
Oh
he just,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Have Cena eat the pin. LA Knight can say like I never, obviously never got pinned, and it still makes the bloodline look like, oh, okay, the bloodline's coming again. You know what I'm saying? And they can challenge the, Judgment Day and all these other groups. You know what I mean? So that'd be cool. But I can see either result. Honestly, they're kind of in a special place where like either result kind of makes sense, where they can kind of splinter into a bunch of cool storylines, no matter which decision they make as far as the winner. Because Cena's obviously going to go back to Hollywood. Then LA Knight can start with the bloodline, whichever way. Maybe even AJ comes back and helps him win. Who knows? But yeah, I am looking forward to it. I think there's a little, at least for me, there's a little bit of excitement about the bloodline again. Obviously, it's not like cooking like it was before, but at least it's the bloodline again, and not just this whole soap opera where we don't know who's in it, who's out, and dudes is
yeah,
leaving, dudes coming back, and you know it's just not. I don't know.
yeah,
Friday Night SmackDown needs this. They need them back together.
yeah. You know, and even now, I mean, Roman's not been there for what, at least the last 2, 3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
So is Roman still in the bloodline? Do we
yeah.
at this
Bro,
point?
homie ain't been back since like for like 2 months, low key.
Yeah, my man's on a
Like,
vacation on the island of relevancy for sure
yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
for sure. He ain't been back. I mean, before payback, like my man ain't been here in a minute. So it would be cool to like he only shows up because LA Knight been talking smack and he got to pull up. You know what I mean? That'd be cool, cool to see. But speaking of the bloodline, um, the Usos. How do we feel about? Obviously, they're going. The brothers are going different ways. You got Jimmy kind of trying to get back in good graces with the bloodline with Paul and Solo, and then you got Jey who's doing this other thing where he's pretty much in a whole like what I think will eventually be the Survivor Series match with him, Cody, Sammy, and KO versus Judgment Day. Like that's a whole separate thing. You know what I mean? He's a big time babyface on Raw now. So how do you feel about those two and like how those two are like progressing in their own individual storylines?
Um, Jimmy is not how like what I wanted to see it. It just didn't make sense. Like if it made more sense and they gave a better explanation of why he wants to get back in,
Mm,
rather than him just saying like I want to be back in, like
yeah,
and just doing things to like try to get himself back in. And I would have liked a better payoff of why he did what he did to Jay, but I understand why we didn't get that because that's something you probably wanted a bigger show, like a WrestleMania, like
right,
that type of match. So that one, I mean, he just kind of reverted back to same old Jimmy doing
right,
tag team stuff. This time with Solo instead of Jay, but I like Jay's direction. He's
yeah,
mentioned it the last couple of weeks on the podcast. Is now he is a babyface on Raw, but he's got to prove himself. Like, hey, I know I, did some stuff for you guys when I was with the Bloodline, but I'm out of that now. I realize that like if I gotta get my licks, I gotta get my
right,
licks. But
right.
like I'm trying to prove it to y'all that I'm a good guy now, you know. And I like that they're not just like in the land of make believe of forgetting that what Jay did to them. Like you said,
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre's like, hey, I remember what you did. Even Matt Riddle, R.I.P.
right,
He was like, yeah, I still remember what you did. Like even KO is like, I don't want to trust you. These guys are saying to trust you, so I guess I have to trust you at this point. Just don't give me a reason not to.
right.
And then the Judgment Day trying to get him in their thing, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
that. Is he gonna turn? I don't think he will. He's so over right now.
exactly.
Putting him in the Judgment Day is just gonna, I think, kill him more than kill the Judgment Day. It's just gonna kill his thing. Like let him cook, let him do what he's doing now. Let him be a babyface. Let the crowd cheer him. When he came back at Payback, when Cody announced him, and they showed the shot, the whole arena was doing his
Yeah,
little
man.
thing.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, bro, you would think The Rock just came out. Like,
yeah, yeah,
holy shit! Like it was very cool. And if they anybody in the back was paying attention and saw that, they're like, okay, we got something. It's just
yeah.
now, how long can we keep it before the crowd goes away from it? But they
Right.
haven't yet, so hopefully they kind of stay hot.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, he's cooking right now, and like they need to just continue what they're doing. Continue to have him in this like feud with the bloodline. I do. I mean, he's basically kind of rejected it, but I think they're still going to kind of, badger him about joining or beat him up for not joining as far as Judgment Day. You know what I mean? So, I'm glad that he's kind of getting the looking at the same eye level as Cody and Sammy and Kevin Owens, and that just it just looks good for him. And yeah, hopefully, the crowd continues to be behind him. I think they will, just because he's went through all this stuff. Fans have rooted for him. They've loved to see that at least somebody from the bloodline came out on the other side, you know what I mean, of this whole thing, just like Sammy did. So yeah, I'm excited for him. Jimmy, I'm kind of okay with Jimmy just because I kind of like the realistic way of thinking, like, okay, like if you join a gang and everybody leaves the gang, not everybody gonna land on their feet. Like not everybody's gonna be like, great, end up with a whole career and leave. Like some people are gonna struggle and have to come back, you know what I mean, and want to come back. So like it kind of some people are gonna be like, oh yeah, I can do it by myself. Go out there and get beat up and be like, nah, okay, I can't do it by myself and come back. So I do think though they probably need to do a better job of like explaining that a little bit better. But as far as him being back in it, I kind of understand. Like we all know, Jimmy's cool. Jimmy's really good, but he's best in a unit and not by himself. So, but yeah, I honestly, I like the both ways both are going, and I like that it's split. It's like completely different. There's no ties. The only tie is like history, like you said. Like Jey got to get his licks. People don't trust Jey off for obvious reasons. And so, but he's still doing his own thing. He doesn't have anything based off Roman, nothing based on the bloodline. So it's really cool to see. And he's kind of doing a separate thing, like you said. So yeah, I really like the direction both of the brothers are going. I'm interested where it goes from here, but I'm glad that they both got something to do. I was a little worried after Mania and all that stuff that they wouldn't have as much to do, especially without the tag team belts involved.
Yeah. I I was a little worried about that too. So like you said, I'm glad they found something to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, with Jimmy having to go out and like he starts getting his lick and he's like, oh no, I don't like this. I want to go back. I
Right.
wish they would have let that go a couple weeks, like two,
Yeah.
3 weeks. He's like on his own in these one-on-one matches and he's just getting his absolute dog shit beat out of him, right? It's
Right.
just like he's not winning. He's taking bad L's, like stuff that, Jey would be there to help him with or Solo or like whoever in the
Yeah.
bloodline. And then when he comes back, Roman is there, like he has to talk to Roman and Roman gives him like these like not challenges, but like, okay, prove yourself stuff. Like you want to come back in the
Yeah.
bloodline.
Sort of like we did with Sammy.
Yeah, like you got to do this. Like match with, whoever, like and have it be someone who's going to face Roman in the near future. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, you got to beat this guy. And then you got to beat like these matches that Jimmy obviously is not gonna win. Like they make it impossible for him to win. And
Yeah.
then he gets back in, but he has that feeling when he gets back in of, oh, I had to go through all this to get back in to continue just to get beat up and take the licks for you. And
Right.
then you can have like Jey had his moment with Roman, let Jimmy have his moment with Roman, and
Yeah.
then maybe it'll help Jimmy get to that other level as well.
Yeah. No,
But
I like that idea. Just like kind of him having to crawl back to the bloodline. I kind of like that idea too. I feel like they could have drug it out a little more, and I get they kind of like got a date deadline they kind of got to hit. Like they got to have this making sense by the time they have Fastlane. But I thought they could have let it cook a little better after what was that SummerSlam? I think, or I forgot. I think it
yeah,
was SummerSlam.
yeah, it was
Like,
SummerSlam. Yeah.
yeah, like have that cook a little bit, like you said, like make him have to truly crawl back to the bloodline. Like, and like you said, Roman don't even got to be there. It's like, obviously Paul can speak for Roman and be like, all right, this is your assignment for the night. You got to face Gunther, or you got to
Yeah.
face, what
Yeah.
I'm saying, Brunson
Yeah.
Reed, or some like
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and he's just getting dog walked,
Yeah.
and he got to come back, and then Paul's like
Yeah.
hella disappointed, picks his phone
Yeah.
up, call Roman, and like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Exactly.
um,
And then Fastlane could have been another one. Like they team him with Solo, but every time he goes to tag Solo, Solo just like jumps off the apron.
Yeah.
So Jimmy for like 9/10 is fighting like a handicap match, and then
Right.
Solo can jump in, and then they wind up getting a win, and
Right.
then or something like that. Like they could have easily worked it in and still had this tag team match at Fastlane. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it would have been cool to have that, like just a little more of like a story, like
Yeah.
oh, because now it just seems like oh he's just back in the bloodline because he
Right.
helped Roman beat Jey at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But like this is the dude that like y'all were about to kick out and keep Jey over him, but
Hmm.
now like he's back because he just helped. Like I don't know, it doesn't quite fit the bloodline story to make it progress.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like
agree.
we don't know what else to do, so we need to kind of keep somewhat of a bloodline here. We're just gonna
Right.
put Jimmy back in it with Solo, you know?
Yeah. It felt like they had to meet a deadline. And so they were like, all right, let's just hurry up and put him back in. Whereas like where we're suggesting is like he would earn his way back in, and then people will be tuning into this match to see John Cena, see LA Knight, but mainly they'd be wanting to see like, okay, what is Jimmy going like we feel terrible, we feel bad for Jimmy. Jimmy's had to go through all this crap. Like, is he going to get accepted? Is he not? Is they going to turn on him? You know what I mean? So I think it'd be mutual interest on both sides. But right now, it's just, oh, we get to see John Cena LA Knight. That's dope. Bloodline, oh, okay, whatever. They're there. But you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it would have been cool both. So like, what if Roman shows up, sits on the side, and is like really watching Jimmy? Like Jimmy got to perform for Roman. Like that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
So um,
They
but
could have
nah,
like a whole tribal council thing. Like,
yeah,
is Jimmy gonna be able? Like, can we accept Jimmy back on the bloodline? Like, you could bring Roman, Rikishi, like,
yeah,
Roman's dad, like any like Samoan members that could get in there, and like
yeah,
Solo as like the bailiff, just
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just standing there.
Right.
He's like something like
Nah,
that would have been cool too. But yeah,
that'd have been dope. Yeah, we should write. We should write the show.
dude, I
I
know.
mean,
Hey,
this one.
let us. We're submitting applications as soon as they're done with releases.
Oh no, oh no. Yeah, exactly. As soon as y'all done with this cycle, we'll hit him up.
Yeah.
Um, what I didn't know? I just found out this is random, but I didn't know. Do you know the comedian Patrice O'Neal? You
No.
heard of him? Okay,
Mm-mm.
Patrice O'Neal is like a really famous comedian. He's like beloved by he's like the comedian's favorite comedian. Like Joe Rogan loves any other like big time comedian, Bill Burr, all the big time comedians love
Mm.
Patrice O'Neal. What people didn't know is Patrice O'Neal was a writer for the WWE for like a hot little second there because he was a huge wrestling fan, but he got fired by Stephanie McMahon because he kept leaving and going to do gigs and then coming back. Whereas, like, I heard another comedian who wanted to get hired by the WWE, but he didn't do it just because he had already had stand up going. He was like, "Yeah, with WWE, like you have to stay in Connecticut and like you can't leave." And Patrice would just bounce after a show and go do a gig in like New York and then come back. And then they'd be like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, what are you like?" So but that was just cool to hear that like a bunch of people have tried to be writers, have worked to be writers. So that's always cool to
Yeah.
see.
Freddie Prince
Um,
Jr. was a writer.
yeah, yeah, a lot of like big
Yeah.
famous people have been in the writers room at WWE.
Yeah.
It's a hard gig, but I heard you make a lot of money, and it's obviously I'm sure it's people do it for the fun of and love of wrestling. So,
Yeah.
um, but all right, speaking of the love of wrestling, and unfortunately, it ending for some folks. We had so for those that don't know, I kind of talked about in our last couple episodes. WWE merged with UFC, basically was purchased under the Endeavor um, Corporation, and due to this, obviously, anytime there's a merger, there usually means there's cuts around the corner, right? There's a new boss in town or a new CEO, and they're trying to cut margins and cut the fat, basically. And so in this case, WWE had about 20 or more releases. Kind of the notable ones was Matt Riddle, Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin, unfortunately, Emma, Riddick Moss, Top Dollar, Dana Brooke, Quincy Elliott, Rick Boogs, a couple others, Elias. plenty others. But Pat, like, is there any releases that kind of surprised you? Any releases that you wish wouldn't have occurred that you thought people maybe still had a chance?
Yeah, but before we get into that, can you just have a moment of silence for those guys and girls
Oh
got
yeah,
released? Just
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man, it was tough out here,
tough,
man.
tough.
R.I.P. to those. Yeah, those.
So the most surprising one for me was Mustafa Ali because he was very much in the North American title picture in
He was.
NXT. Like
Well,
I'm pretty sure was booked for a match, a title match,
yep.
um, at one of the next shows. So that one was really surprising. Um, the other ones, not Top Dollar, AJ Francis, him getting cut and B-Fab and another guy not was kind of weird. So
Yeah,
like I wonder if there was some stuff going on backstage. I mean they weren't doing much, but they were on TV a decent amount. I think
yeah,
like within a couple of weeks because didn't LA Knight have a match
yeah. He
against
did.
him?
He did. Wait, so I didn't. I really didn't. Some names I didn't pay attention to, or I didn't know like their singles name. So did B-Fab get released also, as well
No,
as Top Dollar? Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
So just Top
B-Fab,
Dollar.
yeah, just Top Dollar got released, which
Okay,
is
I
weird
figured.
because they
Okay,
as a group, a lot of times they do the whole group
yeah, they do.
or like people of the group that aren't gonna make the biggest thing. But he was like the mouthpiece almost of that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like the other
I
guy
th-
could get on the mic too, but like he was the
he was. I
main
think
thing.
honestly, he was a huge disappointment to me. I mean, I knew him obviously from NXT, so I was like, he didn't do well in NXT to me, but I was like, maybe main roster it works. But I do think I am kind of glad it didn't work, just because I'm hoping Triple H and others see that, like, okay, you don't have to have the hip hop group. Like, you don't have to have that. Like, that doesn't
Hmm.
win. That never just you don't just have a hip hop group and then they get over and then they become Rikishi and his homie. Like,
Yeah,
like you're not gonna get that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sky Too Hottie and all that. Like, that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is not an anomaly anymore. People don't care that you rap anymore. Like, people could care less. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So I wish, obviously he didn't get released, but he isn't good. Like, he's not good in the ring. He's not that good on the mic. You know what I mean? But I did
yeah,
think the one dude, the smaller guy, was good in the ring. Like, he was good. He
yeah,
just was saddled with this, hit row stuff.
yeah. I think and B-Fab can go a little bit too, if I remember.
Yeah, she's learning. She's getting
Um,
better.
so I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they put those two back in NXT and let
Yeah,
them do some stuff down there, get them more in
right.
the ring, and then bring him back up. That'd be a perfect. I wouldn't mind him replacing Mustafa Ali in
Yeah,
North America. Like, don't have him win it, obviously, because he just got back down there, but like, let him
right.
showcase himself, and then
Yeah,
kind of go from there. But um, you're right. Like AJ, the only big thing with Top Dollar was that he on WWE has a show with A&E with
yeah.
the Most Wanted Treasures or whatever, and that
Hmm.
he was like big with that. So
Yeah,
I was like, this is the second time now that they've released that guy,
yep.
and like
I think it's a wrap.
he seems pretty much like he knows the business pretty well.
Right.
But like you said, like on the mic, he was all right. He could get by. But he wasn't like the ring wise. Like they should have let him stay in NXT. When they called him up and released them and Swerve, Swerve was
Yeah,
what got him to the main roster. If you want my
exactly.
honest opinion, he got him
Exactly.
there. Once they released him and didn't bring him back. That group just didn't have the same vibe. Like they tried when they first brought him back. I was like,
Right.
okay, cool. Like they're gonna push him a little bit, and then I think they saw what we saw, and
Yep.
like, I don't know
Yeah.
about this, and so their push kind of got halted, and they were losing in 2-on-1 situations to LA Knight, which is good for LA Knight, but at the same
Right.
time, like, I mean, now those guys are just like, okay, you're gonna
Yeah.
go job to him, and like, yeah, like I said, the smaller guy, he didn't deserve that.
Right.
My
No,
man
yeah,
didn't
you're
deserve
right.
that. Save him.
Yeah, he didn't. He did, man. It was like you said. Like, I mean, Hit Row's best work was against Delgado Del Fantasma in NXT. Like, that was the best
Mhm.
work, and that was obviously um with their leader and it felt like more of a unit. Whereas, yeah, once they got moved up by themselves, their weaknesses got exposed even more. Like, they just weren't ready. They weren't supposed to be in the main roster. They were
No.
more like a attraction. We were trying to make them an attraction. It's like they're not that good. So, um, yeah, then I was a little surprised by. I mean, Riddle. That's is off the out of the ring stuff. Kind of
Yeah.
caught up to him. It's unfortunate because I was a big Riddle guy, man. Like Riddle NXT was a beast, and then they brought him to the main roster and made him like the weed head funny guy. I
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
dude, this
Yeah.
dude can really
You know
murder
who
people.
he reminded me of? Your roommate from our first year at Northwestern. He almost
Oh
kind of reminded me.
yeah, yeah,
Shout out to
yeah,
Buddy. I don't know what he's doing now, but
yeah,
uh,
yeah. Homie was smoking that stuff
Brandon's
on the radios. Yeah,
yeah, Brandon's roommate our first year at Northwestern was he's a guy on the rodeo team, but he was like one of the rodeo clowns, like a bullfighter,
yeah, yep,
and that guy was like it was hilarious, but it was just like super random to see Brandon and then his roommate's
yeah,
just
yeah,
little
bro.
skinny
It
white
was
kid.
it was the weirdest room dynamic I've ever had in my life. But yeah, I mean, he was cool as hell. Like I played his Grand Theft Auto, all that stuff. I played his PS3 more than he did.
Oh yeah.
But but yeah, but like I just felt like Riddle was a little wasted to me. Like they never, and I kind of get it. Like from their perspective, like all right, we never want to push this guy for real, because he's always gonna mess something up. He's gonna find a way to mess it up. So why even waste time? So I kind of get that, but it is kind of like, damn, like Riddle has so much. Just he was just amazing in the ring.
Yeah.
Um,
That
but
fight pit match he had with Seth Rollins was one of his
yeah,
better ones. But like you
yeah,
said,
like
the whole out of I mean, he would have been a perfect one to go when they were trying to find people to put against Roman Reigns until they eventually take the belt off. He would have been
yeah,
a good one.
yep,
Um, or like he takes it and then Randy comes back
yeah,
and Randy comes back and screws him out of it. Like everybody wanted to see him and Randy when Randy came back. Um,
exactly, yeah,
just stuff like that. And like I said, NXT, he was so good. Like
right,
he had the potential, and then they just wanted him to be, the pothead 420.
right,
Like
yeah,
everything's a joke, bro. Like
yeah. That was the worst thing he did was over promoted. It's like, bro, you don't understand Vince McMahon, bro. You give him something like that, he's gonna drive that thing into the ground.
yeah,
And like it was just because I mean honestly, bro, like and I again I think somebody should write a book about the pandemic era, bro. The pandemic era of WWE extremely underrated. He was one of the catalysts of it. Like he held it down. Like he killed it. He held the US title for a while. And really held it down night to night. Him and Sheamus had some great matches
oh
during
yeah,
that time. It
yeah,
was physical as
brutal.
hell.
Like yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I came out of those
physical.
matches hurting.
Yeah, bro.
Like
And there was no crowd, so you heard every punch,
yeah,
every slap, all that
stiff,
stiff,
stiff.
bro. And like, so yeah, it was just. I just feel like his contributions sometimes get underrated, even due to himself. Like, only his fault was because he kept undermining himself. And again, he hit his peak with RK Bro. That was dope, but yeah, he just, obviously Randy left, and that was just like, all right. I thought, okay, now it's your time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
he never got it there.
yeah,
But
never could.
never could. But
Um, Emma is another one that like they brought her back for the second run, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
do something with her because any other promotion she's been in the main title picture, even held the
yep,
title,
right,
and so she's capable of it. And she would have been a perfect one to go against Rhea. Like obviously
yep,
she's not beating Rhea, but she could have a good match with Rhea. She could have
right,
a good match. Like if she was on SmackDown, had a good match with anybody there. Like her and Chelsea Green would have been a good tag team because they both can do that. Like we're better than you gimmick. Like you're
yep,
gross, don't touch me. Like can I see the manager type thing? Like they're both really good at that.
yep,
They could putting that character, like portraying that character, like it would have been perfect. Like I don't mind that they have Piper Niven now as her tag team partner to give her
right,
that muscle so she can be kind of the scaredy cat type of thing,
yeah,
which is great. But like there's so many more things they could have done with him. Like I think we've talked about it. Some of the other podcasts I've been on with you is there's so many women wrestlers there, and the women's tag team championships like are just decoration at this point. They
Right.
can have legitimate tag teams to do stuff with people.
Yeah.
You
Like
know, like
easily, bro.
Kenneth LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Oh my God, bro.
That's
They
a
could
good
be
one right
putting
there.
on
Yes.
classics week after week, and they just don't
Yeah.
get time. It just
Right.
doesn't make sense.
And there's like so many more. Like you could put Natalia and um oh, the girl who was Trish's mentor before they changed. Zoe
Oh,
Stark, right?
start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Natalia and Zoe Stark, like they're two similar build. Like,
yeah.
let them go together. And you have Natty teaching her
Exactly.
at the same time, like
Yeah,
it's just smart, logical things. So one, you build a division, and two, you're helping future stars. Like it's Natty's not going to be a world champion, but she's good enough in the ring to teach and
yeah.
to help show these other girls, like, hey, this is a good way to work a match. This is, when you're in here, do something like this. Like
Right.
using those people more effectively than just, hey, sit in catering and talk to them back in catering. No,
Yeah.
let them fight, even if it's not like on TV. Like if it's on main event, cool, but just like build those. And then if there's a match on main event that's really good, put it on Raw the next week and say these two teams fought on main event.
Yep.
You know, now they're trying to settle. Whatever team wants their revenge, and so we have this match tonight. Like we're not dumb. Like we know there's multiple WWE shows. If you tell us why this is happening instead of just, oh, it's happening, and expect us to just think like, okay, well, it's just a random match. Like let me know that, oh, they fought on NXT before, or last week
Yeah.
this match was on main event and now they're having a grudge
A
match because,
rematch.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that's how you build storylines, and that's how you get people rivalries. They
Right.
used to do it all the
Right.
time in Attitude Era. Like on Sunday Night Heat, something would go down, and then the next, Monday, they're like, this match is taking place because of what happened on Sunday Night Heat, and they'd show the replay, like dude's getting jumped in the back, and he's like, no, you're not
Yep.
gonna jump me in the back. We're gonna fight in the ring. Like, there's so much of that they could do to make all the shows, like, even if people don't want to watch main event still, it
Right.
still like makes those matches mean something instead of just like,
Yeah.
here, go practice in front of a crowd type of thing.
Right. And I mean,
So,
and that's the thing, bro. Like I used to, and I love to this day where like I'll get on Twitter and like people, and I love that thing about internet wrestling cultures. Like people watch everything, and so it'd be times where like I remember it was like, bro, who was it? It was Mustafa Ali versus somebody on a main event, and like they clipped it up, bro, a banger of a match, like amazing, and people it caught a lot of steam, and then it got on. I think they put it on the next week in like NXT or something, but like I just feel like yeah, they need to do a better job of that, and there's just so many women, and like women like Emma would be great for some of these wrestlers who aren't very good in the ring, to be honest. Like,
mhm.
and they need to just do a better job. And I think honestly, I think Triple H, if it was up to him, Emma would still be there. But it's just the Endeavor deal. Kind of, they had to like cut some people that he's like he just
Yeah.
can't. He has no control over. You know what I mean? So, I will say for the most part, and this just sounds it sounds cruel, like real cruel, but like they made some decisions that were tough decisions, but I understood each and every one of it. It wasn't like before where it was like last year or even during the pandemic where it was like, oh my God, like why would you release them? Where
Yeah.
this one was more like, oh, okay. Like they really
Yeah.
didn't lose a ton. Only person I would fight for was Shelton Benjamin, just because in my head I had a storyline in my head. You could easily do a pay-per-view match. Shelton Benjamin versus Gunther. Like build up Shelton Benjamin. Let him get on a little momentum. Win a couple matches in a row. Let him build a little
Yeah.
bit. The crowd is going to get behind him, right? We
Yep.
all love Shelton Benjamin. We
Former
know it.
Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, like everybody
Use
knows him
that.
from their
Yeah.
childhood. Yeah, like you could let him get some momentum, and then him be like, "All right, I want to go against Gunther." Like everyone would be rooting for him. He would get murdered. He would
Hmm.
lose. But people, that's another Gunther opponent where people are rooting for the other person, which is what you
Yeah.
want, right?
Yeah.
And so I think if you give him that last like swan song of like having an intercontinental title, um, attempt, I think that would have been a great way to send him off rather than kind of just have him sitting back there hanging out. You
Yeah.
know?
Or even like put him with the new Hurt Business of with Bobby Lashley and the
Yeah.
Street Profits,
Right.
because like he can be that other older vet that's
Yeah,
like Bobby Lashley stays in the back, but Shelton goes out to the ring with him,
right.
and he's like, he's Bobby Lashley's right hand. And he's like, hey, like y'all got to be better.
Yeah,
Simple as that. Y'all got to be better. And like he teaches him,
right,
like that way. Bobby Lashley's not having like yes, he's a mentor, but Benjamin's the teacher.
right, right.
Like, and he can still go. Like
Yeah,
he's so athletic. He as an amateur wrestler, like the man can go. There's some way back when I think around when he first got released from WWE, he was in New Japan.
yeah. I was just about to say that. Yep.
Bangers,
Bangers, bro. He could do bangers tomorrow.
bangers.
Like if he wanted to go to New Japan tomorrow, he could go tomorrow and put on bangers.
Yeah,
Like I hope that's what he does. Honestly, I hope he goes over there and like kills it.
yeah, yeah. I would
Um,
love to. I would love for him to that. One other thing with Emma is she tweeted when they announced that Elimination Chamber was in Australia, 'cause that's where she's
yeah.
from. She was like so excited to be back in Australia with WWE, and then she got
Oh,
released, and she was like, "Never mind, I'm no longer with WWE." Like I
that's
feel bad that
tough.
I'm laughing, but it's just like one of those. It's like, all right, this is so cool. I'm glad we get to do this. Oh, never
Yeah,
mind, we're
that's
done.
tough, man. That's tough for her. But honestly, I think if she came back, I think if she came back like in a role or like a coaching role or something like that in NXT or something like, I think they would take her back.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
she has that much cachet. She's been around a while, and honestly, they need it. Like that in that women's NXT division needs more mentorship just because they're so good. Like you got to really invest in that as much as you can before all them women move up. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because
They could
that
even
those,
put her back there instead of releasing her. Put her back there, like you said, like
yeah,
let her work. She doesn't have
right,
to win the championship, but she's just one of those that's like always challenging the champion.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't mind that they have Becky Lynch as a champion now because I'm just gonna elevate that
right,
division.
right,
But like you could have done that with Emma. Like Emma could have elevated that again.
yeah, yeah,
Like not that it was in a bad spot, but just like that much more.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
she's held the championships before. She knows like how to act with it. Like she knows how to make it mean something.
right,
And like it would have been great for her. It would have been great for that roster down there, help them develop more. And like you said, she could train them. Like she's honestly not that old to where like it's almost retirement time for her, but like she's still semi in her prime.
yeah,
And has I think a lot of years left, but it would have been like perfect for her, like a perfect veteran, been around the indies, had different styles, not just a WWE style, and can show them like, hey, this is how we put on a good match. This is a good flow. Like, just let them do that, and it would have been perfect.
yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. I think out of all the ones like her, it was kind of like damn because you felt like Triple H really like went and got her and was like, "No, I
hmm
want you." You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah,
kind of sucks. So I'm sure he definitely struggled with that one. But otherwise, I mean, it sucks for all of them. I wish them all the best. But I mean, I think WWE is fine. Whereas before, it was like they was releasing all kind of people, and he was just like, "What the hell? Are you
yeah,
like you're giving AEW layups?" You know what I'm saying? Where
yeah. They
with
still
this
kind of
one,
did with Dolph Ziggler and Shelton. If both
true,
of them would have been AEW, if AEW uses them right, like,
yeah.
and AEW has literally fumbled the bag
Yeah,
more
that's
times than
my
I can
only
count.
thing is like I can't even give AEW like the type of like respect like that because they fumbled the bag. So, like WWE is giving them pure layups at the rim and they fumbled.
Mhm.
Like they
Yeah,
just
they
smoked
shot
that
it in the
thing.
other goal.
Yeah, exactly. Like dudes like Andrade and dudes like you know what I'm saying.
Aleister Black, like
Alistair Black, like
on a
plenty
silver
of guys.
platter. Like they
Yeah,
basically went to AEW, knocked on the door like DoorDash, said, "Here you go."
yeah. And they're just over on Rampage getting
Yeah,
beat every other night. So it's
yeah.
like, no, like, yeah, I can't even give AEW that much love like that. But I will say Mustafa Ali, especially with the gimmick he was working on as a North
Mhm.
American champion and like campaigning to be the North,
Yes,
I was
yeah,
like, ooh, I like this. I was like, ooh, this you got something here. And so if he takes that gimmick over to AEW, I'd be like, okay, now I'm tuned in. Like I'm listening here. Um, so I'd be interested in that. But overall, fortunate, but definitely looking forward to what's next for WWE there under Endeavor. Now, we are to our GM draft, our we say our pro wrestling GM draft because they're as we'll kind of lay out the rules here. So essentially, me and Pat are gonna basically each make 5 picks from 5 different categories. The categories are heavyweight, tag team, women's, a woman, mid card, and a heel. So we got to pick one wrestler from all 5 categories, right? So we're gonna make 5 picks total. We're essentially trying to build and create a show, a pro wrestling company almost that we can go from night to night with, right? So we got to have our heavyweight, got to have our tag team, got to have our women's division, got to have our women's champion, got to have our mid card guy that's gonna hold it down. We got to have our big time heel. So we will go back and forth and select whichever category we want to go first. Now we can select wrestlers from AEW, WWE. You can select really any company, really. Um, and yeah, you should be in good hands. You know what I mean? So, Pat, I just want to say now before we start, I
Here it goes.
apologize. I apologize for what I'm about to do to you, sir. Um, you're like my young Padawan when it comes to wrestling. I appreciate you, but yeah, I'm about to put in work. Daddy's about to go to work here. Um, any last words?
Just make sure you have your notepad out, taking good notes on what I'm about to lay out here.
And folks, when we make our pick, we're kind of going to explain why we made the pick, what our plans for this particular pick is. Now that as we are the GM, we are the booker, things of that nature. Now to decide who's going first, Pat has a pick selection simulator. Now, for those that are tuned into the podcast and LMG network, they know I haven't had much luck with the pick simulator in our other drafts with Jordan and Spencer, as I usually always end up last for some reason or another. So we will see if I'm always also rigged in this. But go ahead, Pat. Who's going
Here we
first?
go. We're gonna click to spin, and
What?
I'm going first.
Of course, of course.
It's complete legitimacy. It's a random spinner. I put both our names there, so it was a 50-50 shot. And I went first. It picked me to go first. So, with my first pick, I'm gonna get this one out of the way. My heel and potential possible heavyweight champion, MJF.
Okay. Okay, I like it.
So obviously MJF, he hits the multiple roles. He can be your top heel, he can be your top champion, good on the mic, can go in the ring, just have great quality matches, and that's what you need to put butts in seats, and that's what we're about here.
Okay. Okay. Well, you think you're a little limited, as we've seen in AEW here, right?
It's not AEW, Willis. It's not
I'm just saying.
AEW.
I'm just saying. I love
This
MJF.
is not AEW.
I'm an MJF guy, but his title reign hasn't necessarily been memorable, right?
Yeah, because it's an AEW title reign, and they're taking too long with his Adam Cole storyline. As you saw, he had a great match against Samoa Joe, and
right.
The title reign itself has not been great because they found this Adam Cole thing, and they're really just like sucking the life out of that. When like he had a great thing as the heel champion with the diamond, like trust me, I know how to use him. He's gonna be used well, and it's not gonna be an AEW title run. I can tell you that.
I don't know, man. I'm a little sus of because I like this like in between MJF. I like it, right? He's funny. He gives you the baby face stuff, but you also laugh at it because like this is him acting as a baby face. He isn't truly a baby face.
The character's gonna stay the same, but like it's not gonna be this. The title reign's not gonna be as bad. I'm already telling you that. Like the character is gonna be similar. Like I'm not changing much of his character. There's no need to. Like, why reinvent the wheel when it rolls, Willis? If the pick and roll is working, you don't start going to 5 out. You keep hitting the pick and roll. Come on now.
Yeah, it's a little sus there, but all right. That's fine. Okay, MJF, you're going heel. Just to be clear, you went heel there, right?
Yeah, yep. Which
Typical
he's
Pat.
interchangeable too. Interchangeable too.
Typical Pat going heel
Usually,
first. So
I
predictable.
say.
So predictable. All right. My number one pick. I think it's pretty well known. We're going heavyweight here. We're going with the man who's going to bring people to the seats, but we're also going to give you a wrestling show, folks. We're going to give you something to where we're going to give you a champion to where you don't want to see him win, but you also want to see him beat the hell out of somebody.
Uh-oh.
The ring, da da da.
Yeah,
Gunta.
that's where I figured you were going. I was gonna go with him first, but I can I think I can fill that role with some of my other picks. So
Nah.
I like it though. I figured that's your guy. He was on your draft board number one the get go. That's how I could tell when I said MJF and he didn't really react. You're like, all right, I'm still safe.
Yeah,
That's
I
not a
mean,
bad pick though, because he can. I mean, right now he's got the mid card title, so you can, if you need to, put him in the mid card for a little bit,
right. We
and
could bring
then
him
bring
down.
up.
We could bring him
Yep,
up. We could do
he can also
heel.
be a heel. Yeah,
Yeah, he can
yeah,
fit
that's not
all.
bad.
He's a five
Yeah,
tool player. You
I
know what I'm
got one
saying?
of
That's what.
those. Yeah, I got a few of those. I got a few of those. Oh, I
My
do.
guy, my guy has match of the year, maybe even back to back years, right?
I mean, I got a
As a
couple guys.
heavyweight.
I got a couple guys that could do the same thing, and women, honestly. So I'm
But
not
yeah,
worried,
Gunther.
Willis.
My plans for Gunther is to make him kind of with the reign he's having now with the Intercontinental title. I want to do that, but in a bigger scale. I want to give him a big time belt, a historic looking belt, a belt that kind of reminds you of Big Goldie, reminds you of the NXT UK title, right? Very like historic, pure. It means something, right? We don't put it's kind of like a Ring of Honor type of thing where like we don't put the heavyweight belt on just gimmicks or big dudes who are swole just to look. We put him on the guy who's gonna beat people up, and that's who Gunther is. And yeah, the heavyweight title is gonna mean a lot in my company. And yeah, we're gonna make it to where Gunther is the top guy. As you've seen lately, his mic work is amazing. So we're just gonna extend. We're just gonna extend on that, man. We're just gonna make him build the show around Big Fella, and we're gonna ride it out with Big Man. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. My number two pick is gonna go. I'm gonna go with the tag team division because tag team division is a big one because it's a multi-man thing. I'm gonna go FTR.
typical guy. This guy, bro, you ready to
FTR.
chalk right now? You're so freaking predictable. Okay,
What do you
FTR
mean?
tag. Okay.
Yeah. So my plan is obviously they're gonna run the tag team division. They may not always hold the belt, but they're always gonna be part of the picture. They're always gonna be what the rest of the division wants to be. They're that the Dudley Boys, Hardys, and Edge and Christian of what a lot of the tag teams want to be now. They're gonna at
Mm,
some point be that, like when I was watching FTR, that's what made me want to be a wrestler. Like,
right.
that they're gonna have that type of legacy. Um, Again, another group that can put the butts in the seats, sell tickets, make money,
Mm,
and they can both go individual ways. So if there's a time where one of them's hurt or out, you can push the other one in the mid card, and they can still have great matches.
yeah,
So another, kind of a five tool thing, and they're great teachers. So you always want to have some teachers on the roster.
that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. I mean, I see what you're doing here. It seems like you're just making another AEW Rampage, but it's fine. It's
Oh no,
fine.
this is not. No, these guys are not never going to be on Rampage. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
just saying it sounds
They're the
very like
main
a
event.
collision,
It's the main
like
event.
a random episode of
Hey,
Collision, but it's
Collision's
fine.
not bad. I'll take Collision over Rampage and Dynamite.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I agree, but
It's a wrestling show. I'm not gonna say it's the best wrestling show, but it's a wrestling show.
I get it. I get it. I'm not mad at the pick. I mean, I really like FTR. Obviously, they're gonna bring it in the ring, and they're fun to watch. Um, but yeah, I think I'm going in a different direction. I think
Uh-oh.
it'll pay off later. Now, I don't have to go with tag team. Don't have to reach for the tag team. We're in our company. We value women. I just want that to be clear. We value the women's division.
Okay.
So in our women's division, we will, as our women's champion, we are going to go with Bianca Belair.
Mm,
Now,
mm. I
Bianca
don't know,
Belair.
Willis. I definitely, your picks so far. I had them listed. I like if I would, to someone would ask me who would Brandon pick in this draft, your top two. I mean, like you're predictable, basically. Like you don't have to be Nostradamus on this one.
What? I'm
I
predictable.
I
You are
am
extremely
like
predictable.
the scouting
Your
report
every
on you,
Reddit
Willis.
boards,
You
you're
are
making,
hitting you are hitting every bullet
bro.
point on my
I
scouting
feel like
report.
I'm going against Chat GBT,
You're gonna go over
and
your right shoulder, like
bro, I feel like
you're
I'm drafted against Chat GBT
you're
on a
you're
Reddit
gonna
board
look to
right now.
pass. You're a passer down low. You're gonna go over your right shoulder. You got a little,
Come on, man,
off the glass, mid range. Your game is mid range, and you're not varying from it, which I respect. It's just I know
bro,
the scouting report. You're not gonna give me anything special.
bro. I'm telling you,
It's a solid
my,
show. Your women's division may lack a little bit, but hey,
lack. No, we're gonna have
lack a
star
little.
power. Unlike
I
yours,
don't know.
we're actually
Just
gonna
wait.
give our women time.
Just wait.
They're gonna put on
Just wait.
5-star matches because no women. I mean,
Beyond,
you can name any
I will.
woman,
I will.
and they
They've
haven't
had
had
a 5-star match. Oh yes, they have.
better
Yes,
matches than Bianca Belair.
they have. They have. Don't worry. I'll name. That's actually my
And
third pick, to be honest.
and so Bianca Belair, we're gonna put the belt on her. She's gonna run the division. She's gonna put on bangers, classics with anybody. We're gonna give her the smaller ladies to have, those agile matches. Then she's gonna give her bigger ladies where she can really show off her power, show off, fighting through adversity, things of that nature. So yeah, we're just gonna build around Bianca. And I also have some other plans for Bianca as well, due to my other picks. But yeah. So going through Bianca Belair, I mean, that's come on, man. Like, if I go to Endeavor right now and be like, all right, I got Gunther, I got Bianca Belair. They're buying my company. They're not buying your company right now. They
What
were
do you
like FT,
mean?
FT who? I'm
Stop.
sorry. I'm
Stop.
sorry. You said
Stop. Stop.
FTR? What does that stand for? I'm
Stop.
sorry. I'm not
Yeah.
understanding. Yeah, they're not gonna have a clue who you're
Stop.
talking about.
Yeah, they will. All I gotta do is put on some tape, and they're gonna be like, okay, I see
Yeah,
it.
I'm
And
like, doesn't sell
when I
tickets.
lay out my plans and my creative, yeah, yeah, Vince
Doesn't
McMahon's
sell
not writing
tickets.
this creative. Um,
Anyway,
so my third, much like your promotion, we do value the women's division. We value a little bit more. Ours is gonna be a little bit better of a division. Our champion, um, could easily main event a WrestleMania. Had one of the best matches of WrestleMania this past year. Um, you know, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick Rhea Ripley.
so predictable, bro.
What do you mean predictable? What do
Hey,
you mean based
all
on
white card, huh? All right.
not
All
yet?
right. I
Well,
see what you're
maybe,
doing over there.
but
I see what
we
you're cooking up over there, buddy.
Rhea Ripley can have a great match with just about anybody. She has the power game against the little ones. She can go toe to toe with the ones her size, as you can see with Raquel Rodriguez or a Charlotte Flair, perhaps. Just a 15-time women's champion, no big deal. Had to almost stated as the best women's match in a while that anybody has seen.
Not in a while. It was the year of the year. Let's be clear.
Last
Because the
couple
year
years.
before, and then the year before that, we know Bianca Belair main evented with Sasha Banks, who had a better match. But let's,
Not even close. Look at the
yeah,
star ratings. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair was higher rated, but
I don't mean that to me.
just she can be a baby face. She can be a great heel. Probably better as a heel, but
Definitely better as a heel.
either way,
Um,
people are gonna pay to see mommy. People are gonna come see Rhea Ripley.
more than Bianca Belair? I don't think so.
Absolutely.
What?
You're gonna have the little kids that want to come see Bianca Belair, but the demographic, the key demo is gonna want to see
Yeah,
Rhea
bunch
Ripley.
of weirdos,
Hey,
bunch of incels.
when
Yeah,
I'm
you're
beating you
gonna
in the
have
key
them.
demo,
You're
they
gonna
want
have
to
a bunch
see
of incels
MJF.
in
They want
there.
to see FDR. They want to see Rhea Ripley. I'm
Hey,
hitting the
man.
bullet points. Come on
Yeah,
now.
you're AEW essentially. Hey,
I'm
good for
not
you.
AEW.
You're the secondary
Stop.
promotion,
I'm
which is
much better than
fine.
AEW. I could teach ChatGPT to write a better show than AEW.
I'm just saying, man. It's wild over there. Okay. I am gonna go with hmm. I'm gonna go mid card. and I am going to pick. I'm gonna pick somebody different here. I'm gonna go with
Can
my
I say it
boy.
before you do? I know exactly you're about to pick from mid card.
No,
I know
you
exactly
don't.
who it is. Yeah,
You
go
don't
ahead.
know.
It's ZBJ. That's his initials.
That was essentially that was a thought. That was a thought. But I want us to be different,
Okay.
right? I want us to be different. I love that guy, but I want us to be different. And I think this man can hold down the mid card and give us character work. He's not just going to be some boring guy who doesn't give us great matches, but he also is going to give us character work. And we're going with Orange Cassidy, baby. Orange
Jesus.
Cassidy is going to
Willis, you're
hold
talking about
down.
my show being AEW. You're literally, I mean, you're putting Gunther on Rampage. You're putting him on Dark AEW Dark.
What are you
You're
talking
putting
about?
Gunther on a YouTube show.
What are you
Willis,
talking about, bro?
stop.
We have
Go
Gunther,
ahead.
who's a
Tell us
superstar.
what you're gonna do with Orange Cassidy. He's gonna
Oh
have
yeah.
another orange juice match. Is he gonna come out with a truck and spray
First of
orange juice
all,
all over the ring?
you're
Is he
you
gonna put his
like
hands in his pockets?
all your.
Are you gonna dress up like him, like Tony Khan? Like,
I'm
are
just
you?
saying everything you're talking about is
He's
silly.
trash.
It's silly,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
right?
Go ahead.
First of all, let's just talk about wrestling, right? Because I know you're gonna throw the low hanging fruit. Oh, he's Orange Cassidy. He puts his hands in his pocket. Who's held the title? Who's made the most relevant title out there right now in WWE? The international title. That's by far their most relevant. It's
MJF
because of
and
Orange.
Adam Cole. Whatever
Hell
the
no.
tag team
Hell
titles.
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That's what most
Absolutely
people
not.
that's the biggest storyline going for them right now.
No, they could not have titles and no, they would still care. The point
That
is they
you
didn't make the
can't make a
titles
title
better.
relevant that's changed names 7 times.
What do you
That
Pat?
title went from the international to the intercontinental, the all ocean, the uh Asian Pacific American Islander title,
First
the
of all,
Red
all
Sea
right,
Championship,
relax. All right, let
the
me. So Orange Cassidy made that title relevant,
no
even
he
to the
didn't.
relevant enough to the point to where John Moxley had to beat him to win the title. If he didn't make that relevant, they would have had any Joe Smo beat him. But what did they do? They had him go on a historic reign to then lose to John Moxley, arguably their best guy in their company. I don't
But
believe
who
that,
is
but
a Joe
they believe
Schmo?
that.
Who is a Joe
Now,
Schmo?
Orange Cassidy also will give us character work, right? He's going to make the people laugh. He's going to give them all this entertainment. We're not going to be like Pat Show. We're not going to be AEW Dark. We're not going to be AEW Rampage where people, you can't even laugh, right? We want to entertain people and give you a wrestling show. We got Gunther. We got Gunther. We know he's going to give us a 5-star match at the end of the night, but we also want to have a good time and also watch good wrestling. And that's why Orange Cassidy is going to give us that. He's going to give us amazing ring work. I mean, the guy is top tier in the ring. You can hate on all you want. Him and Will, go watch him and Will Ospreay, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, he can't wrestle." Come on, bro. If you watched a Will Ospreay match and you've seen him with some duds, yeah, he carries the match, but it's obviously he's going to get some duds, and they aren't giving him anything back. That isn't the case with Will Ospreay. I mean, that isn't the case with Orange Cassidy. If you think it is, you need to get your eyes checked immediately. But yo, Orange
It
Cassidy,
is.
my
It
second.
was is the case.
I'm just saying, like my boy,
That's
bro, when that
ridiculous.
music hit, crowd gonna go wow. And we're actually gonna have fans in the building. Whereas in
Mm-hmm.
AEW, there's like 25 people, 2,500 people there. We're actually gonna have fans there that can go crazy for them. The kids gonna
Not
have their
for
hands in the
long.
pockets, the shades, the denim.
Not for
Like,
long. Not for long. They're gonna eventually get sick of that. They're
no,
gonna
they
eventually get
won't.
sick of it. Yes, they will.
No, they won't. Only
They're
people that get
gonna.
sick of it is weirdos who think,
You're lucky
oh,
you
he's
have
just a
Gunter.
character.
Gunter's gonna draw you your money.
I mean,
Orange
obviously,
Cassidy's gonna lose you your money.
not at all. Not at all. Why? Okay, what is his weakness? Name it, please.
His that he's awful. He's got there's nothing about him. Like, okay, I'll give it. He's okay in the ring. He can
Okay,
wrestle a little bit.
he's okay.
He can wrestle a
Have
little
you
bit,
watched
but
wrestling before?
nothing that Orange Cassidy has been on is like, oh, I want to buy this for Orange Cassidy. No, I want to buy it for anything else on the match but him. I don't my money is not going to see him. I will pay money to see Trish Stratus at a fan con
Okay,
before I pay
when you
to
watch
watch
Zack
pay per
Saber
view.
Jr. versus him versus who was the two other Daniel Garcia and my other guy from Ring of Honor. Okay, people tuned into that match for Orange Cassidy. Yeah, they wanted to see the
No,
other guys. They were top tier,
no, they
but
did not.
the money name
Was
Who's
Zack
Orange
Sabre
Cassidy?
Jr.
No, it wasn't. I love Zack Sabre
Yes.
Jr., but he's not the money name. He's not. He wrestles on Ring of Honor. Like he's not the money name. I
It
love now.
wasn't.
He
I can
will be.
guarantee you it wasn't Orange Cassidy. I 100%
Bro,
promise you it's not.
bro. Okay, I want you to
We're
rewatch that
gonna
match.
agree to
See,
disagree.
because you have
That
revisionist history. I don't. I
I
can actually
don't.
take in the moment and
I
remember
don't
it
have
how it
revisionist
was.
history. I
If
just
you go
don't
back
think
and watch that match and watch the intros, who gets the loudest pop?
it's an AEW book show, so
No, 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 no,
they're
no.
gonna
Who gets the
pipe in
loudest pop?
they're gonna pipe in Orange Cassidy. I didn't even watch it. I don't
No,
have
now
to
we're
watch it. I
now
know
we're
I was
using
gonna
the
do it.
pipe in
They're
noise
gonna pipe in
thing.
the noise. Come on now.
Oh, this guy. Now
Come
we're
on
doing the
now.
pipe in noise
Come on now.
stuff. Come
Stop.
on, dog.
Stop.
You make your
He's
pick,
the
bro. You
owner's
wild.
favorite toy. He's the owner's. When you dress up as one of your wrestlers for Halloween, I can't take you serious.
Bro,
You,
it's a normal thing. The dude's
no, it's not.
popular. What are
You
you
think
talking
Vince
about?
McMahon dressed up as one of his guys for Halloween?
This man is a weirdo. So, like, what do you want me to make an argument for a weirdo for? Like, I don't get
Then
it.
Tony Khan is weirder. If Tony Khan is
But
dressing
why
like
is that
one
an
of his,
indictment on Orange Cassidy? Why does that?
because that's why he's had so much success. If Tony Khan did
So you're
not,
telling me? Hold
Tony
on. You're
Khan
telling me?
wishes he was Orange Cassidy
You're
because
telling me
Tony Khan can't wrestle.
a guy whose gimmick is I'm doing everything with half effort. I put my hands in my pockets. I wear shades. I wear denim. I rarely wear wrestling gear. The only reason why I'm over is because the guy likes me.
Yes,
That's silly.
because he's
Bro, the
getting
fans would
time.
boo him out of the building if they didn't like him. What are you talking about? The fans would have booed him out
But they don't
3
have
years
any
ago.
reaction. There's no
There's no
reaction to it.
reaction.
He
Do you
wouldn't have
not
had a
listen?
title reign without Tony Khan.
Bro, your
Tony
boy,
Khan booked him for
what's the
that.
dude's name? That flips around all the time. X Pac, whatever the hell is his name, Pac. You're a
Oh,
Pac guy,
Neville?
right?
No, I'm not. But
He definitely
I know
fits
who
your
you're talking
demo.
about.
But
No, I'm
Pac,
not a pot guy at all.
Pac
He's a
had the
good wrestler.
title.
He's not bad.
He's not. Oh, he's not. He's a good wrestler. Well, his title
Good
reign was
wrestler.
ass. His title name, no one
Because
remembered.
the owner didn't like him. The owner hasn't used him.
Bro, he wrestled all over the country, all over the world. What are you talking about?
But not for Tony, not in that company. Tony Khan did not like him. He had to give it to somebody who was established already to start that title.
That's not how history works.
Can we finish this?
No, I want my last point here because I want to talk about history here. You're talking about falsehoods. He was given the title. The belt was literally created for Pac. Like, let's be honest. The belt was created to give Pac something to do because he was floundering everywhere else. Okay, the crowd loved him. Cool. Well, before that, he gets the title belt, travels to all kind of different promotions. It's trash. He's boring. I mean, he's boring to watch.
Booked right. It's hard to be a champion from one promotion and go
that sound like excuses to me.
It's not excuses. It's legitimacy.
But as soon as they gave that thing to my boy Orange Cassidy, what'd it do? It's AEW World Heavyweight title, international title.
But the matches were poor. If you look at his Orange Cassidy's matches, every time he was on first, they lost viewers. They lost viewers after the Big Bang Theory. People watch Big Bang Theory would watch a little bit of AEW, and then the viewers would drop. As soon as Orange Cassidy
happens to anybody. That happens to anybody.
That dropped.
And that is honestly, that's Tony Khan's fault. Of anything, you're supposed to have something
for putting him in that position.
No, you're supposed to have something,
he loved him.
A storyline first. No, you don't have a wrestling match for. You don't have that great of wrestling first.
That's the thing. If it was that great, why would people tune out?
Because some people don't know good wrestling when it obviously, like yourself, don't know good wrestling.
What do you mean? I obviously know great wrestling, and that's not it.
Make your next pick, man.
We're at
my boy Orange Cassidy mid card, yeah.
We're at 4. My fourth one's gonna be the world's heavyweight champion, somebody who started a company, somebody who knows how to work the crowd, somebody who knows how to be a champion because it's in his DNA to be pro wrestling. And let me just tell you, Willis, there's more than one royal family of wrestling.
My God.
Cody Rhodes is going to be my world champion, and he's going to put numbers and put butts in seats and sell out arenas from the East Coast to the West Coast.
I don't know. I don't know.
You understand that?
I don't know if he is.
From the East to the West.
AEW.
People bought WrestleMania because of Cody Rhodes.
Stop it.
Because of Cody Rhodes.
You used to see this
because of Cody Rhodes.
You're ruining your argument.
Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
sold
Roman
WrestleMania.
Reigns, the biggest, the
Cody
reason.
Rhodes. No, people tuned in to see Cody Rhodes win the championship from Roman Reigns. WWE squandered that, and now they're fumbling. But that's why
No,
people tuned in to see him finish the story. And that's
no,
he's gonna finish the story in my company, and he's gonna lead my company to the promised land. And your company's
he's
gonna be
gonna
to
win the title in your
WCW,
company
the
and then be.
'90s.
He's gonna be irrelevant in 2 months.
No, he's not.
Because people are gonna be rooting for you have a
No.
MJF who people are gonna want to win the title, and then
Okay,
they're
then you
gonna
give it to him for a little bit, and
boo
then you give it back to
Cody.
Cody. Stop.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, no. You have
You got to if
Your crowd is too
if you
wishy
book it
washy
right. Here's
already.
the thing, though. They never go near each other. You can't put them near each other. They never go near each
You
other.
can't have two people who are amazing on the mic never speak to
Yeah,
each
you
other.
can.
No,
Has Gunther spoke to Roman Reigns?
they have no reason to speak to
Has
each
Gunther
other,
spoke to neither will MJF and Cody Rhodes.
bro. What do you mean they have history? They have
And
clear history.
and
MJF references him all the time. Even when he went to WWE, Cody went to WWE. MJF references him, so you have to address it.
I mean, but
You're
doesn't
booking yourself
like
into a corner, sir.
I'm not.
You're booking
I'm
yourself
not.
into a
You're there.
corner. That's all I'm
You
saying,
can keep it apart. You can let them reference, but you can keep them apart to where the
bro.
crowd, or if you put them together, if you do it right, the crowd's not going to turn. Easy
Just
as
sounds
that.
like your Cody didn't have that much. Doesn't have a villain to really go up against.
Oh, he can.
Especially
He does.
keeping him away from
He
MJF. I
does.
mean,
He does.
uh, I don't know, man. I like Cody, but Cody and AEW, which is heavily leaning what your product is going to
It's
be,
not.
was a
It's
little
absolutely
irrelevant.
not. What do your product, if anything, is going to be AEW/WCW?
Bro, I have stars. I
What do
have
you? I do too.
Bro, Gunther
Stop!
and
Don't even throw
Bianca's.
Bianca. Stop! Get out of here. All right, what's your next pick? I'm not gonna. Your argument's irrelevant. You're
What are you
irrelevant.
talking?
I'm
Bianca is
on the
not the
island
most
of
famous woman in
relevancy.
the.
I'm on the island of relevancy. You're on the island of irrelevancy.
Bro,
So
hold on.
make your pick.
So we're saying Bianca isn't one of the biggest superstars in the world. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
Because if
not
you
in
say
my
that,
opinion. She's not.
you sound crazy. The
She
woman, the woman
so
main evented WrestleMania.
how she's been booked. She is, but in my
This is how
opinion,
this
she
guy
shouldn't
does.
be. How
This is
she's
how
been
you
booked,
do.
she
The
is, but in
house
my
has been
opinion, she
booked.
shouldn't be.
House has
That's
been
how.
booked.
It's easily it's how you're booked. She's
No,
been
it's
booked to be
not.
that person.
No,
To
it's not. We
me,
see with Austin Theory.
her
He's been
matches aren't
booked
that
like
good.
a superstar, but he isn't.
He
Why?
really
Because the
hasn't.
crowd.
He hasn't been booked like a superstar.
Yes, he has.
What
The
do you
reason
mean?
he
He
has.
basically made to be look like a fool in that whole John Cena thing. If they were
Why?
to book
Why
that
though?
right,
Why
because of
was
how
he
it was
floundering?
booked. Because of how he was booked. You can't. You've even said it
No,
yourself. You can't put a guy like that on a mic in front of Cena with a mic.
I agree,
Cena is
but it
going
was way
to
before that. He
eat
got
his
booked
lunch.
like a WrestleMania. I mean, Vince McMahon booked him like a next star. The crowd didn't like him, so he floundered. Now, if you're saying that's the same thing that's happening with Bianca Belair, if you're saying Bianca Belair was booked to the moon and the crowd just automatically loved her, yeah, you're right. They loved her for a reason, right? Like if people don't like you, just like we saw Roman Reigns back in the day, if they don't like you, you can book the person to the moon, but if they don't like you, they don't like you, right?
I'm just,
So I don't understand here. I'm just saying my two picks are bigger stars than anyone
it's
on your roster.
stop.
I'm just saying
Bianca
they
Belair
are.
is not bigger than FTR.
Are you, bro?
Not bigger than FTR.
You
No,
gotta be wilding,
no,
bro. If okay,
no.
one day we're gonna walk down the street and ask 50 people, and I guarantee only about 15 to 10 of them are gonna know who FTR is. I guarantee you that.
You
I
did
guarantee you that.
probably the same or even less are gonna know who Bianca Belair is.
Wilding, you're really wilding right now. Hey,
Stop.
but that tells me what kind of show you're gonna have.
I'm gonna have
You
a
don't
great
understand what a
show.
superstar when you have one.
I'm gonna
That's
have a
fine.
great show. I've got multiple
That's
superstars.
that's
I'm gonna have a
totally
great
fine,
show.
man.
I'm
That's
gonna have a
totally
great
fine.
show.
Um, I'm gonna go tag team division next, and I'm gonna go with hmm. I'm actually gonna go with. So I have two thoughts here, and you picked your tag team division, so I don't really you don't you're not gonna affect this. I'm thinking Creed Brothers or Street Profits. Now, Creed Brothers, they're gonna give me what I need as far as wrestling is concerned, right? And give me some singles potential. But so does Street Profits. and I could team gives me the versatility to team her up with Bianca if we want to create a new little faction, right? And it gives me another superstar if we want to with Ford. So man, I'm gonna have to go Street Profits as my tag team.
Not a bad one.
Dynamite Group has had 5-star classics. We're gonna go Street Profits more towards NXT time when they was having bangers after bangers.
Yeah,
But
the early
then,
main roster they had a
yeah,
few
that
bangers
too,
as well.
that too. But we're gonna do that. But then we're also gonna team her up with. We're gonna have a faction. Street Profits and Bianca Belair are gonna be together. And if we want to turn them heel, that gives us the ability to turn them heel too. Because that's the thing. Well, we don't understand. See, Bianca's reached the mountaintop as a babyface. Bianca's actual potential, like highest potential, is as a heel. And we haven't even tapped
Mm,
that. We haven't even tapped that yet.
I don't
We
think
haven't even
so.
tapped it
I
yet.
think she's gonna be a
Whereas,
Bailey type heel.
absolutely
I
not.
think
No,
she's a
not
Bailey
not
type
long
heel.
term.
It's
Whereas
hard.
Rhea, your girl Rhea, I love Rhea. I'm one of the biggest Rhea fans out there. But we've seen Rhea has a cap as far as being a babyface. Right? We've seen that. But her as a
Mm,
heel, hey man, mountaintop. Good for you. But Bianca's already surpassed that, and she was doing her weakest gimmick. But let's put
stop,
her as her strongest gimmick.
stop.
Oh
No, the
my
baby face is
gosh.
her strongest. The baby face is
Oh
her
my
strongest.
gosh.
She won't be a good heel. She's
It's not
too.
gonna be fair.
She's not gonna be a good heel.
It's not. What do you mean? Have you
She's
watched
not gonna be a
NXT
good
when she
heel.
was in a heel?
She wasn't a heel. She was mainly
She was a
babyface
heel.
still. No,
She
she
was
was a
never a babyface
babyface.
in NXT.
If anything, she was a tweener, but she was more babyface than heel.
She was never
Her
a
whole gimmick is
babyface in
I'm the
NXT.
EST. Yes, she was not.
No, she wasn't.
She was a babyface.
Rhea was the hot babyface in NXT, and yeah, Bianca was the
And
the person going up against her.
there was a it was a three it was that's when Charlotte was there. It was Charlotte, Bianca, and Rhea.
Yeah, people were Bianca
And
was. I mean,
Bianca was a tweener, was in the middle. Charlotte was the heel, Rhea was the
yeah, during that
babyface, and
storyline, she was a
Bianca was a
tweener.
tweener the whole time. She's always
No,
done
she wasn't.
her gimmick from NXT to now has been the EST of whatever she's at. That's
Right,
how
but that doesn't mean
that,
she has to be a
that
babyface. She was a heel.
she was a tweener. She was more babyface.
Hey,
She was getting more crowd cheer reactions, and she wasn't doing a lot of heel stuff. Like she wasn't doing the normal heel
hey, man,
attacking, like
you're proving my
calling
point in her
people ugly
versatility.
idiots. Like she's
You're proving my point
she's
in her
not versatile.
versatility.
She hasn't been a heel. She has
That's
not been a heel.
she's been a heel. I
She
don't
has
know what she
not.
watched in
She
NXT.
has not done heel tactics. Heel tactics is, attacking people during the match when you're not in the
She
match,
did that. She
calling,
literally her
but
debut. She ran in the ring, beat up
as a
two
baby
women
face,
wrestling,
as a
beat them
baby
up.
face, as
No,
a
she
baby
didn't.
face.
So you
Yes,
telling me a babyface runs in the
yes,
ring, beats up two random
yes.
women, grabs a mic.
If they're heels, yeah. If those two wrestlers are heels, yeah.
They weren't
Bianca
heels.
was
They
a
were
baby
just two
face.
random women fighting each other.
Heels will take shots at the crowd. She's not once take shots at the crowd. When her wrestling, she's not never wrestled as a heel. She's always wrestled in a babyface style. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
She's never been a heel. I don't think she can be a heel.
she can easily be a heel. It's not even like it's
We'll
more in her
see.
DNA to be
We'll
that than
see.
it is to be a babyface. You could
We'll
tell she
see.
was holding back. You could tell.
We'll see when we tune into your show on TNT, on Wednesday nights,
Stop it. We're
Friday
gonna be
nights.
on ESPN.
Um,
We're gonna be right before Sports Center, baby.
I
Uh,
mean that's not a bad plan there. I like that. My my last pick, my mid card. This one's tough. I had two that kind of went between. Um, I was very much leaning towards Zack Sabre Jr., but I think I'm gonna go Finn Balor because
oh,
of the versatility, and he gives Cody an opponent, and or he can give MJF an opponent, and or um eventually maybe tag team with MJF against FTR. They have that there too. Um, and he's a draw. In the right situation, he's a draw. He's kind of slowly starting to get up there with the Judgment Day. Um, but Finn Balor is always a fan favorite, and he can play both. He can go heel, he can go babyface. You get him with the face paint as a demon, even as a heel demon. He's that's the guy right there. It's the guy.
Okay, I'll let you cook. That yeah, Finn ain't that guy, man.
He's
Sorry.
that. What do you mean? He's done it around the world. Finn is
All his mid
hundred
card
percent
title
that guy.
reigns have been garbage.
No, sir.
All his title reigns, let's be
No,
honest, have been
sir. His
garbage.
NXT, his first, second, all his NXT title reigns have been great. Um, when he was, what was it, the U.S. title? Yeah, he had the U.S. championship for a little bit. That was just they weren't booking the mid card titles well at that point, but he was still having good matches with people. He was an Intercontinental champion. The ladder match that he trust me, his
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. He
so I
not
will
like that.
show. I'm I will. I am. I am.
Wow. That
I am.
seals it. I think that sealed it for me, to be honest with you. Because that's my fifth pick. As my heel. As my Rowdy Piper, my Ric Flair. You know what I'm saying? Uh, my big time heel to hold the company under and to give Gunther an opponent or separate him. Let Gunther go against other people. Seth Rollins versus Orange Cassidy be great, right? Like Seth Rollins against anybody as a heel, especially like that heel version when it was against him against Cody, him against like him against these other people where he was like him against Riddle, like antagonizing people, dressing, trying to piss them off type of stuff. Seth Rollins is my heel. He's gonna carry it. My man is when he's top heel, is one of the best heels that we've ever seen.
So what happens
And
when he gets squished by Gunther? When you absolutely
he's not
squash
gonna
him?
get switched by Gunther.
You can't. You're gonna have Seth Rollins have a competitive match with Gunther after you build him up, have a huge title reign.
What do
Seth
you
Rollins gonna
mean?
have a competitive.
You,
Stop.
bro, the Seth Rollins disrespect is
Stop.
wild right now.
Stop. Seth. I mean,
Wow,
Seth is that guy, but you can't
bro. We
build
just
Gunther
saw
up as a
Chad
monster.
Gable. We just had Chad Gable give Gunther a competition. You're telling me Seth Rollins can't?
Not if you
Are we
build it
wild?
like. Stop. No.
What are you talking about? If I build
Because
a
you're
good
gonna
Gunther,
kill. Because what's Gable doing now? Gable's got nothing.
okay. But
Seth Rollins
Seth
is gonna be the
Rollins
same
is
thing. You're gonna get the same effect.
no, we're not.
You can't throw guys like that at a big at a big long reign at a dude that's just been booked like a monster and expect him to come out on top. Look at everybody. Kofi after Brock Lesnar, does he still wrestle? That was
Bro,
like years ago.
bro. The
Like
disrespect right now for Seth
they,
Rollins is beyond me
it's
right
no
now.
disrespect. I'm just saying you can't throw guys at
You
long
just
big
said
title reigns like that and expect them to come out good on the other side. Nobody
that's like
does.
saying
Anytime when Seth
that's,
was fed to Brock Lesnar and actually beat Brock for the title, there was no meaning to it. The only time it meant something when he won the world title from Brock was when he did the heist of the century.
there you
Anything,
go. He's
anything
a
else,
heel.
but that's how you have to do it. That's exactly how to do it to keep both good. And if you don't, other than that, you don't have anything. You're telling me
That's the point.
every time Seth wins a championship for you, he's gonna do it by cashing in or going doing
No, but
that.
he's a heel.
You're gonna.
So
That's only one idea. But that's the
I'm
same.
saying
But
he's a
he
heel. If
right.
I'm a
But even
heel,
a heel babyface, he doesn't come out clean after going against a monster like Gunther like that.
what are you talking? If I cheat, what are you talking about? He's a heel, so he's gonna cheat. He's gonna
But then
find
he
a way to
doesn't win the
cheat.
title. What do you have to take the title off of Gunther? Then what?
You could easily take if Seth Rollins as a heel cheats to beat Gunther. Gunther doesn't look bad at the end of the
But
day.
then all you have is Seth Rollins can only beat him by cheating. You got
Okay, he's
even
a
as a heel,
heel.
you got to build him up. You got to build him up.
I mean, he's gonna go mid card first. He's not gonna go straight at Gunther. We're gonna give Gunther time to build.
And then,
We're gonna have
but then Seth
heel.
is just building the main card, and you're killing your main card. Because
How
then
am I killing my main
it's
card?
because if Seth's not beating Gunther, and that's who you're building up from the main card, and Seth is just killing these kids in the main card in the mid card, then nobody
No,
can. You don't have anybody that can overstep Seth to get to Gunther.
no, that's not true. Actually, you
Yes,
saw it this past year when you had Seth outside of the title picture going up against Cody, going up against Riddle, going up against other people. Did
but
he murder them? Did he make them look worse? No, he actually made them look all
but
better,
it didn't
and he
do help.
still was able to go.
No, it didn't help him any. He
What do you
got the
mean it didn't
title.
help him?
He got the title because there's nobody else that made sense to put on. It doesn't make sense to put it on Cody right now because you want him to actually win
Hey,
it in a match against a
all I
champion.
hear is excuses. The
No,
fact is,
no
he
excuse.
did everything you said he didn't do, and then he got the title belt, which is what we're gonna
No,
do.
No, in a tournament, he got off a tournament that against
Okay,
guys
I love a good
like
tournament. We love a good tournament over here in WWE, baby.
but
In
it's
my
not.
promotion.
It's not. It's just
My
not gonna.
point is, in
How
this
you're
whole,
envisioning it is not gonna work. I'm just saying
it is. It
it's
is.
not.
Now,
He's not
how
gonna
it's going
come
to
out
envision
good
for
on the other
you,
side.
I mean, MJF is going to destroy a Finn Balor in your scenario. MJF is going to be Cody.
You don't know how I'm gonna
Um,
book MJF like that. Like Finn Balor, you can book Finn Balor to be a monster. You
no,
don't
you
know who I'm
can't.
gonna. You don't know what free agents I'm gonna sign. You don't know who I've got in my back pocket. There might be a certain big dog coming through, a
My
certain
point
tribal chief,
is,
a certain head of the table.
bro, he
He's a
doesn't even
free
make
agent.
sense in your promotion. He doesn't even make
He
sense
can.
in your promotion.
As if you're creative enough, anybody makes sense. A certain phenomenal one, a certain um the most
You,
electrifying man in all of entertainment can maybe run through a couple times.
man, you sound
Give
like
you a couple
AEW
matches.
bringing back a bunch of old
AEW.
geezers.
No,
Just
no,
to,
no. I'm not. They're not gonna be nothing full time. No, I didn't say anything about full time. I'm just saying that they could, pop in,
bro,
give me a good SummerSlam match, give me a good WrestleMania match. Like
no
if
one on
you're
your
creative
roster,
enough. Hmm?
no one on your roster is a better wrestler than Gunther or Seth Rollins, for that matter.
Stop.
I have the
Stop.
two best
Stop.
wrestlers in the
Stop.
entire
Stop.
draft.
Stop. 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 Cody Rhodes and Finn Balor can go toe to toe with both those guys. Stop.
Absolutely not.
Stop
What
the
are we talking
slander.
about? When
Stop
was
the
the last
slander.
classic Finn Balor match? Talk to me.
The
I'll
last
wait.
classic one, him and Seth
Oh,
Rollins.
that was not a classic. Are
It
you
was a classic.
serious?
It was a classic. It's a great
All
match.
right, now we're just saying
Finn
that just
Balor
to
can
get you some on the board. Okay. What was the last one before that? Because we know that wasn't a classic. When was the last one before that?
It was in like
NXT?
right after
No.
he left NXT. No, it was like right after.
Oh,
Him and Bray Wyatt was good when he first came back on the main roster.
wow.
No, that was right
Okay.
before he went to NXT, I think. No, it was
Wow.
right when he came back. Yeah, it was like the end of the
Hmm.
Fiend stuff.
Because if
Um,
Seth Rollins versus Finn is a classic, I mean Seth versus Cody, Seth versus Edge, Seth, Seth versus Riddle. You just said the pit match was great.
yeah.
Seth versus
I'm not
Roman.
saying he's not gonna have good matches. Seth is gonna have great matches,
I'm
but
just saying he's better
just
than.
how you're gonna feed him. He's not,
Oh, by the way, the
or
match of
they're
the
equal
year.
actually.
The match of the year this year is probably going to be Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus again. What was the match last year? Gunther
The,
versus Sheamus.
the match of the year: Gunther versus Drew versus. Stop.
It is.
Stop. It was a hard hitting. It was a good match. It's not match of the year.
It's
Not
match of
by
the
any
year.
means. No, it's not.
What is your
You
match of the year?
take your bias out of it.
No,
I
I'm
don't know if
serious.
that's.
That to me, that's the match of the year.
I don't. That's your bias because you like Gunther and
No,
you
I
like
think
big
that's
man
the
slapping
only
meat.
thing I
That's
think
your
that's
thing. You
the
love a good big man slapping meat match.
only match that I think is comparable is maybe Osprey and Omega. But that's not even my type of match. But I think that is comparable for sure. But
Um, I think Cody and Roman could be it.
I think I
Um,
don't. I think maybe Sammy
and KO versus
and
the
KO
Usos.
versus the Usos. I think that
Yeah,
could be up there.
yeah.
But yeah, I think yeah, man. I got the two best wrestlers out of the whole deal. For sure. I got the best
No,
women's wrestler out of it,
stop.
and
See,
I
this
got
is
the
your
best.
the thing is you think they're all the best because it's your
No,
opinion.
I legit. If you
It's
ask me
your
today,
opinion. It's
no,
no,
I'm serious.
no, no,
I'm
no.
dead serious.
It's your
Like I'm
opinion.
taking total
You've
objectivity.
come on this on your own show. I'm calling you out on your own show. I am the Skip Bayless to your Stephen A.
Bro,
This is
I'm
your own opinion. You've come out.
legitimately. If we ranked who's a better wrestler, like if we did, all right, heel, Seth Rollins or MJF, I would go with Seth Rollins, just objectively. I would go Seth. Now, MJF is an outstanding wrestler. I give him credit for as good as he is. But I go, tag team, I'll give FTR the nod there. Wrestling wise, I'll give FTR the nod there.
And
Now,
mic work
women's,
and ring work.
I don't know about all that. No, in ring work, I'll give FTR. Women's, I'm going Bianca. Bianca's a
Rhea
better
Ripley
wrestler
all
to
day.
me.
Rhea Ripley all day. Rhea
Absolutely not.
Ripley and
We
Charlotte
just
Flair's
saw
match
Rhea
at
Ripley.
WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania should show you how good Rhea Ripley is.
I that was an amazing match, but like Bianca
Literally
got
the
like
best
four of
female match
those.
of the year. Stop.
Bianca got like four of
Stop.
those. What are we talking
Stop.
about? Like
Stop.
her versus Io Shirai,
Stop.
her versus Bianca Belair, her versus Becky Lynch twice. Like, what are we
Bro.
talking about? What are we talking about? Like, really? Like, what?
Rhea, Rhea,
Hey,
Rhea. Wait
Rhea
till Rhea
Charlotte
and
is amazing.
Becky. Wait till Rhea and Becky It's gonna top Rhea
See,
Charlotte.
you gotta wait to a classic. I already got two of them waiting.
I got no. What do you mean?
Like
Rhea Charlotte. Rhea and Asuka was a good one.
Bro, stop it. Like, what are we talking? Stop it.
Rhea and Zelina Vega at
Oh,
Backlash was good.
bro, stop that.
That
You
was
stop
good.
that right now.
That was a good
You stop
match.
that. It was a good match. It was fun. It was emotional.
Better
Let's
than the
stop
Bianca
it.
Belair match.
See, all right, now you're just talking. Now you're just
Not,
talking.
in my opinion,
so you're telling
Bianca
me
Belair cannot.
So you're telling me, hold on. You're telling me Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, I believe it was at SummerSlam. You're telling me that wasn't a classic?
No,
you're wild.
I mean, it was a really good match. It was not better than Rhea Charlotte. It was a really good match, but I wouldn't say classic. Not for me.
But you say Zelina Vega
and
all right, man. You're wild.
Hey,
like
it told a story. Zelina was in her hometown.
Bro, there's no better story than what are you talking about? Bianca lost her belt in 2 seconds, gained it back a whole year later in the same pay-per-view, and they had a classic
That's lazy
match.
booking. I could have booked that.
Bro, what are you talking about? They
could have booked it.
You're talking, bro, Charlotte and Rhea was a 2-week build. What are you talking about?
Easily much more. People tuned in more to watch that than they did.
Bro, you're sounding crazy right now. You really sound stupid.
The best part of Bianca and Becky was Bayley, Io, and Dakota Kai coming in.
No,
that was the best part. And Becky turning face again.
Yeah.
The face turn.
Yeah, because she handed it off to a well-earned champ. She knew she was handing it off to her predecessor.
Becky, if anything, Becky carried that match.
Who's your rival of today? She would say Bianca Belair. She say Bianca Belair.
Charlotte Flair and or Bayley.
No, they haven't fought in like 5 years. What are you talking about?
That's still her biggest rivals.
No, it's
She's
not.
always compared. The 4 horsewomen. The 4 horsewomen.
You're living in 2019.
Get out of my face.
Her and Bianca Belair have won against each other, and they are little rivals. Like, what are we talking about?
Stop.
The whole big time Becky was based off of going against Bianca Belair. Like, what are we talking about?
Stop.
Lastly, yeah, your heavyweight Gunther versus Cody. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Like, Gunther's better. I like Cody. I love Cody.
Stop. Cody's way better on the mic. Cody's a better promo. Cody's a better. As somebody who you want to go on the Today Show and do interviews, it's Cody. Cody is the image. Like when I look at Cody Rhodes, that's the company carrier. That's the guy who's the face of the company. His name's on the production, or his face is on the production truck, on the marquee. You hear the name Cody Rhodes, people are gonna want to buy tickets. Oh, Cody's gonna be on the show. Let's buy tickets. Let's watch this. The pop at Royal Rumble when he came out 30, the Alamo Dome had to have renovations because the roof was off.
Oh my god!
That's how big the pop was.
So lame.
Gunther had a good pop too, but Cody's just was 10 times more. People are gonna follow Cody more than they will Gunther. Not saying that Gunther's not a great pick. That was a fantastic pick. But Cody's more of the modern day old school champion. He can carry the belt from territory to territory. Legitimize.
When's the last Cody classic match? Seth?
Cody Brock.
That's not a classic. It was good. It's not a classic.
Cody Brock. That was the only real last.
Oh, by the way, it was before a dud they had before. So they had two
the first
duds.
Two. I mean, it's Brock though. Like you gotta have like. There's only so much you can do to keep. If
you a real one, if we holding you up against real stars, you put on a great match. Daniel Bryan did it. Seth Rollins did it.
And Cody did it twice. They had one bad match in that 3.
They had one good match out of 3.
Stop. They had 2 good matches.
2?
The first and third were the best ones. The middle one was sucked.
Bro, they both were trash. No. The first 2 were trash.
Get out of here. Stop. You just don't like Cody. You're just a Cody, an anti-Cody.
I love Cody. I'm a Cody guy.
No. You're the anti-American nightmare. That's all. It's okay. It's okay. You're wearing an I Hate Cody shirt right now.
I love Cody. Cody reminds me of an old school WCW champion. I'm a WCW guy. That's
No,
how I.
don't put him in WCW because that was a terrible
No, he
before the
reminds me of an
NWO.
old school WWE
Before the NWO,
WCW champion.
before
Yeah,
the
like
NWO,
old NWA type
before
of
it went
level
to
champion.
okay, yes,
Yeah,
yeah, and
like he
that's why
reminds me of an old school
he's
champ.
gonna carry the company. Hey, but
Yeah.
Gunther gives that same vibe sometimes, but you just like Cody's got the suit, he's got the hot wife, he's got the kid, the dog, he's got
Bro,
a great
Gunther's don't
interview,
sleep on
can sell
Gunther's
the product.
don't sleep on Gunther's mic work. And we're selling a monster. Sometimes that sells better than just a guy walking out there talking. If I can go
I don't
see
know,
an
man.
attraction,
I can sell Cody more than I can sell Gunther to a
I can sell my company more
wider
than I can
range.
sell yours.
Stop,
That's the point.
stop. It's
That's the
you.
point.
If you believe in something enough, you can sell it as much as you need to.
Hey, that sounds great, but I actually have the talent to do so.
I do
So now,
too.
Pat, name your five picks. This is a recap.
My five picks: MJF, FTR, Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor.
All white group, huh? All right. No big deal. Keep doing your thing, man. If that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative.
Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley are foreign. You know, MJF is
Wow.
from Canada.
That's your diversity, huh? All right.
FTR is you know, they're
Oh,
something.
wow. That's your diversity, huh? Okay.
There's free agent.
Over
There's some
here,
Samoans coming.
we can, we can go to Africa, we can go to Australia, we can go to India, we can go
I can go to
wherever
Australia.
your
I can go to
squad, bro.
Australia. I can go to Australia. I can go to
We
Ireland.
can go to Memphis. We can go to,
I can go to
you know what I'm
Saudi.
saying?
Give me that Saudi money. That's
Nah, bro.
all I need to keep my
Um,
company afloat.
nah, bro. So my pick heavyweight pick was Gunther. My women's category pick was Bianca Belair. My mid card pick was Orange Cassidy. My tag team pick was Street Profits, and my heel pick Seth Rollins. I mean, just marquee names. We got star
Stop.
power. We got
Stop.
wrestling. We got
4 out of 5.
promos. We got
Orange
everything.
Cassidy. Orange. Stop. You got 4 out of 5.
What are you talking about,
Don't put
bro?
the bias in this, bro. You got
Mid
four out of
card.
five.
The mid card is
Orange. There's
about.
nobody on my roster that Orange Cassidy can stand up to. Nobody.
That's lies. That's
Nobody.
cap.
Nobody.
That's cap.
MJF is blowing him out of the water with a promo. Cody Rhodes is going to eat him for lunch in a promo. Finn Balor
Bro.
will eat him for lunch in a ring. Rhea Ripley will riptide him through the ring. FTR will give him the shatter machine, and the kid won't even look the same after. He can not stand up to anybody on my roster.
Bro.
But I'm just saying.
It's silly. It's
Stop.
silliness.
It's facts. It's facts.
It's silly.
All facts, no printer.
Silly, bro. The disrespect of it's funny because like in 2021, I would have been like, hey, I can't really defend it. But now, like I don't even have to defend it because he's had banger after banger after banger after banger. So it's like, and he's become literally where he just does wrestling. He didn't even do like all the extra gimmicks he used to do. So it's like now it's kind of like, okay, did you watch anything he's done recently, or are you just saying?
I can't. I tried and I can't. I legitimately cannot stand him.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You didn't watch
stand
Zack Sabre Jr. Match at Forbidden Door. You didn't watch the one against Will Ospreay. You didn't watch the one against Jon Moxley.
That's two guys that are phenomenal wrestlers that can carry. I don't know how that Jon Moxley one happened. Maybe because Moxley bled for the 12th time on that show that night. But I mean,
the dude is not put him down, defended his title every week, so you can't even say he's just not a wrestler. Like, come on, man. Like he checks all the boxes. I really don't know what you want. I really don't.
He doesn't at all. But
I really don't know.
What's our next thing? Is that it? Are we wrapping this one?
Yeah, that is it. Now we will have our top 5 championship belt designs. I'll go first here. My number 5 is the New Japan Strong Championship, or the TV Championship, the one Zack Sabre Jr. has. Mm-hmm. I really like that title. It's kind of a rectangle, kind of a different shape. Like it's very dramatic looking. It's definitely different. Yeah. But it looks prestigious. It looks really good. Obviously, Zack Sabre Jr. makes it look even better, but it just looks like something you want. I always I don't know. Like, again, I'm a WCW guy, so I love a TV title. I love a good TV title. Now, you don't want to have 35 TV champions, but you want one. And if you're going to have one, it's a really cool, mid-card title. And I remember like when Booker T first got his championship, that was huge. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the gravity of it, and so to have New Japan have a really cool TV champion is really cool. So I really like that belt. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I like that one too. It reminded me a little bit of the NWA, the 10 pounds of gold, like just like the design, so it's a
Yeah,
rectangle design.
right, right.
Um, so it's like very recognizable, and like with it being different than the other ones,
Yeah,
that it like it stands out. It's like, oh, like what is he the champion of? Like it makes people want to figure out like what type of champion he is. So
right,
yeah, I like
right.
that. I like that the way they decided to do that. Um, my number five is the speaking of it's the old school Intercontinental title back from like in the 80s, early 90s.
Oh, okay.
Not the oval one, but like the one that Cody brought back
The white
a
is the
while
white
back.
strap.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah.
like Mr. Perfect and Honky Tonk like all of them held. I
Right,
really
right,
like
right.
that design. It's like simple, but also like it just makes it look eh, prestigious. I don't really like the
Yeah,
new style. The oval one was cool too. I
yeah.
don't like the way the new one looks.
I don't mind it, but it definitely doesn't give a intercon. I don't know, like the darker look just doesn't fit the intercontinental title to me. Like you
Yeah,
said, like it should be like a white strap or something like that. Like
yeah.
it just the dark just doesn't fit the title to me at all.
No, yeah, it's like it's kind of slowly starting to grow on me, the new one is, but for the most part it's very um I don't know. Like I just like, oh, okay. Like Walter has it so or Gunther has it so you see it a lot.
Right,
But it's just like it's just the design just looks I remember when they debuted it, I was like, why'd they do that? And it's like
right.
the
Yeah,
oval one had like the earth or whatever, it had like the continents, like it
yeah,
in the background was like blue or whatever. Like it looked dope.
yeah.
Um but yeah, that's my number five is the old school IC title.
Okay, okay. My number four is the current NXT North American Championship. Um, that thing is beautiful, man. The
Mhm.
strap color is different, more of a burgundy. It just looks like it's again like old school title, right? It looks like a title you would see in the like early 1990s in NWA, WCW, or you know what I mean, or in the 80s or something. Like it just brings that, and it's just so prestigious. Obviously, some of the best wrestlers in the world have held it, so that obviously adds to it. But just the design is really cool, like a North American title. Um, Even Dominic Mysterio has it now, and like when you see him carry it compared to Rhea's. I like Rhea's, but and then the tag team titles, like you like, oh, okay, the North American title easily looks the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, North American title for me, number four.
That was one of my honorable mentions. We talked
Yeah.
about it off air. Like there was so many. The more we kept looking
Mm-hmm.
and thinking about it, there's just so many. Like, oh, that's So that was one of the ones that I put for honorable mention. But my fourth one is the NWA Championship, the 10 pounds of gold.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Very easily recognizable. They haven't changed it since like 1940 when it was
Right.
constructed or whatever. And just the names that have held that title: Harley Race, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
Christian Cage even held it for a little bit when TNA was using it as their title. R
Yeah.
Truth held it for a little bit. Uh, Jeff Jarrett had it a lot.
Yeah.
Um, it's just one of those that like you win it and you hold it and you feel people recognize it. And even like if they don't watch wrestling anymore and they see it, like, oh, that's a world championship. Like
Right.
I just
Yeah.
it's simple. I love the look of it. I always have. So
Yeah.
that was my number four.
Gotcha. That's a good one. Number three, Big Goldie. Just it's my first introduction to a world title. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I didn't even know wrestling. Like at the time, I was still learning, and I was like, okay, that's the guy. Like just based off the belt, I was like, okay, that's the guy, and that's kind of what you want the belt to say. Like you want to immediately be able to say, all right, that's the dude, that's the man in this whole company, and that's what Big Goldie was. Like when I saw Ric Flair walk down with it, I was just like, oh my god, the thing is amazing, and so it just gained even more prestige as it went on. Well, Hulk Hogan had it, think different people had it, and it just looks beautiful. Like the thing is just I mean, Big Goldie, it has that name for a reason. Thing just looks gorgeous. Uh, Even when it got to WWE, it looked great. When The Rock had it, and Booker T, and Triple H had it for a little bit. Just a beautiful title belt, and it reminds you, like you said, what we've been saying, like old school. You know what I mean? Just when they put like true care in the titles and making them like hand, like piece by piece. So yeah, number three for me, Big Goldie.
Yeah, I like that one. I actually have the WWE version of it as one of those like the not a legit replica, but like one of the toy replica
Oh, okay,
ones.
yeah, yeah,
I have
yeah,
that. Or
yeah,
when I was a kid, I got it.
yeah,
Loved it. I had the spinner one too, but the strap broke off the spinner belt. That was
yeah. That
sick.
thing's garbage.
What? Okay, we weren't even talking about that. Uh, my number three is the Attitude Era WWF title. The
Oh, okay. The
one with
oval.
the yeah no no, it's a circle one. It's like what the Big
Is it?
Eagle, like the one that Austin and The
Oh,
Rock held, that one, and like Triple H
gotcha.
held, like early
Yeah,
2000, like late 90s, early 2000s is when
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
had that one.
I like
That
that one.
was the title when I like from my earliest memories of watching, um, was seeing that title. So it was like you said with you and the Big Gold. It was my first world title. It was the one I looked at and I was like that's what I want. Like I still want one. If I ever have enough money to buy a legit replica, it'll
Hmm.
probably be that one.
Yeah.
Um, just for like, and then the people that held that one, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker had it, I think once or twice. Kane held it. Um, Chris Jericho, that was the first like big championship that he won.
Right.
When he became the undisputed champion. Um, Kurt Angle held that
Hmm.
title as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of big names, a lot of history with it. Yeah, that's my number three.
Okay. My number two is the AEW World Heavyweight Belt. Now I will say, I really like the design. I think a part of the only issue for me is that I guess no one who's held it has made it to me feel like, okay, that's the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why. I'm not a John Moxley guy, so anytime he holds it, I don't really have respect for it at all. Um, MJF's kind of been close, but like, and I guess maybe I just have like a bias towards like the little guys, and AEW likes the little guys, but um, yeah, no one has held it that I thought like, oh, okay, like they are worthy to hold that big thing, that big belt. But I really like the design. It feels very New Japan inspired, very like, bigger, heavier, and just gold. You know what I mean? And I always love a company that doesn't shy away from like gold is the big prize. You know what I'm saying? Where WWE be trying to like make toys and stuff out of these belts rather than like making it the biggest prize in the company. So yeah, I would say for me number two AEW world title.
I don't mind. I like the design of that one. I just like you said, whenever you see it, it doesn't feel like a world championship. I don't necessarily know if
Mm.
it's because of who has had it, but more so of just how it looks on somebody.
I
You
think
know what I'm saying?
the only person I saw that held it on them, I was like, ooh, okay, was Kenny Omega. Everybody else,
Yeah.
I've kind of just been like, okay, like it didn't feel legit.
Yeah.
But when
Or like
Kenny had it,
it didn't fit their character. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
whereas like Big Gold, whoever wore it, like it looked
yeah,
good on them. They made it look,
right,
they knew how to hold it. Like I said, John Moxley, I think he just like slung it over his shoulder or like
yeah,
carried
he
it.
slings it around like it's
Yeah.
a hardcore title, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't have no respect for
Yeah.
that title anymore.
And like MJF is trying to like kind of bring it back to,
Right,
treating it like a championship.
right,
I don't even remember who held. I guess CM Punk held it for a little bit.
yeah,
It looked all right on him.
right,
Um, but yeah, that's not even on my list. I think it's mainly just because like I like the design, but I don't. It just doesn't feel has that world title feel to me.
yeah,
Um, my number two though was Big Gold. Um, pretty much the same reasons you mentioned, like just the names have held that one as well.
hmm
The significance and just like you saw that and you saw it's world champion. Like the NWA World Championship after they retired the 10 pounds of gold one for a little bit. It went into WCW. There was a couple times they gave it to people kind of like a joke.
Right.
Like David Arquette held it, and I think Vince Russo had it. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at that point, it's like, come on, man. Like
Right.
you're killing it at that point. But like DDP held it, which is really cool.
Yep.
And it just looks like a championship. And then everybody has that image of Aaron Rodgers holding it up when they win
Yeah.
when the Packers won the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's a
Right.
different iteration of it, but just like when people see that, they think champion, they think world champion.
Exactly. Even to this
So
day, like if you
yeah,
just think wrestling, you think of that title for sure.
yeah, yeah. So that's my number two because it's just like it's that prestigious.
Yeah. Um, I my number one is the IWGP Heavyweight title. The bigger one, I don't know. I feel like they changed it recently, where it's like
Hmm.
some winged one, but like the big one, the one that like Kenny Omega had, Okada had. You know what
AJ
I'm
Styles,
saying?
Finn Balor,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Um,
just so sad.
yeah, that guy. That belt to me is one of the more beautiful belts, just because it reminds me of Big Goldie, but it has like its own look to it, and it's prestigious. It just looks beautiful. It looks like it's been through some stuff. It looks like okay, some great champions have wore this. You know what I'm saying over the years. You know what I'm saying, and that's always been cool to me. I like it's cool to change your designs, but sometimes it's like, man, if you keep a design, it just has a different. It hits different when you know, like, okay, that's the belt such and such wore. That's the belt such and such wore. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that belt just really looks the part to me. And New Japan, I feel like does the best job of like title designs for the most part. Sometimes they make them titles like freaking like they be having titles like literally like dudes can hold in their
Yeah,
hands. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be
yeah.
like, that's kind of trash. But like for the most part, with their like main roster guys, top tier guys, like they make some of the best belts because they put really a lot of thought into their design. And just the inspiration from Japanese inspiration is really cool. So the IWGP title has always been a title I've always been like, ooh, like even when I play WWE 2K, like I always like go download that title just because like to me I'll make that the top title in the company, and the other ones are like, oh, okay, you can have it, but that one is the best one to me.
I like that one. That was on my honorable mention list.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a tough one to put on there. I just like you said, the design. Um, and the I think it's the BMF title that UFC came out with, almost
Mm-hmm.
like has a similar feel to
Yeah,
that one.
yeah,
Yeah, like you said, like Japan always hits. There's been a couple that actually look like belt buckles. Like there's a tag team title that the Dudley Boys held for a little bit, and like Bully Ray carrying it just looked like, or Bubba Ray was like, it just looked like a
yeah.
belt buckle. Like it was
Right.
just tiny. But that one is one of my favorites in wrestling. But my number one, the early '90s, the Winged Eagle WWF title,
Mm.
the one that like Bret Hart held, Hulk Hogan held, Ultimate Warrior held, like
Shawn Michaels, just I think it had
yeah,
it too.
Yeah, um, Yokozuna, like the list
Yep.
goes on. Like that belt was one of the I think after they transitioned from the WWF, like once Vince actually bought it, took it over, started running with it.
Yeah.
That was their belt up until the Attitude Era one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's another classic. Like it's just you see that and you think world champion. Like that's one of the first ones I always unlocked. You mentioned the video games. Like I always try to unlock that one first.
Mm-hmm.
In video games, it's I just and the design was just like you wouldn't think about it, but it's simple. Like it looked good when people wore it. It didn't like overtake anything. It didn't look bulky. It didn't look,
Right.
you know, it was it fit. It looked good. It meant something. So yeah, it's one of my favorite titles ever.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think the one modern title that kind of I think obviously the U.S. title I love the design of the U.S. title right now, but I feel like it takes inspiration from that title just because the big wing eagle on
Hmm.
it and like a little bulkier than that one, but yeah, I like the wing eagles also. Um, it just looked really cool. You can't never go wrong throwing an eagle on a title. It just always looks
Yeah.
cool. But and I think that, but yeah, like I feel like back then, like they just took more care of it and like thought of a title as like a historic thing rather than like a merch item. Where I feel like Vince started to be like, oh, I can just flip these things and like pancakes
Yeah.
and make money off of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, beforehand, like when I was a kid and I got the ones that I have, like it was actually legit, like good, nicely made, like the titles
Yeah,
felt cool. Now it's just um like a Velcro strap,
yeah,
and it's like, why would you? I'm not buying this for any. I'm not buying
right,
it for my kid. Like,
right,
I'm not spending money on this. Bring back the actual legitimate. Like, obviously
yeah,
they're not legit replicas, but they're like close enough. It's got,
yeah,
it looks very much like it instead of just you can tell it's a toy.
right.
You
No,
know?
it's facts. I had that title you mentioned earlier, the one that like Stone Cold and The Rock had.
Yeah.
And my replica was not very good at all. It was just straight plastic and like the like belt part was ripping apart and stuff. So yeah, he definitely started to see people wanted the belts and then just start flipping them. And I think he started seeing like sports team liking them. So he was like, oh, okay, let's just start customizing them and put them in different colors. And
Yeah.
it was just like, okay, we don't need a red heavyweight title or a red, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
When they did
Uh,
that, it killed it for me. It almost whenever remember when we made the one when me, you, and Devin were playing, and we like
yeah.
basically at that point had fought for all of them. So we're like, let's make another
Hmm.
one, and we just used that one to like pass around or whatever. It
Yep.
was like, yeah, we
Yeah.
made a ridiculous. I mean, it looked cool, but it's
Right.
like we put like a colored strap on. Like we just knew we were just messing around or whatever, and like he did that in real life. I was like, oh no,
Right.
what is he
No, it's
doing?
bro. If it ain't white or like NWA green is like it can work if you do it
Yeah.
right, but for the most part, you should do white or black. Keep it gold if it's a certain title. If it's different ones,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, I
If it's a mid card with like the red strap, like the North American title with the red strap,
yeah,
I don't mind
that's
it.
true.
If it a good color red that goes with the title, like when the Universal title was red,
Yeah,
it didn't it didn't fit it because like
right.
it's a main title. It should have a normal colored strap.
Yep.
Like leave it at that. The only time the strap should be different is if it's a mid card title. If it's a main
Yeah,
your main title, it needs to be the design more should be in the actual like the gold part of it
yeah.
than the strap.
No, I agree. I will say I like the heavyweight designs now for like the women's and the men's. I do like that. Obviously it's not perfect, but I do like it. It's more of akin to what we prefer, like more of a historical. Because I'm like honestly, they need to just hire whoever did the NXT UK titles, bruh. Whoever
Oh,
did
those
those,
are some bangers.
the tag titles, gorgeous.
Yes.
The NXT
Yeah.
UK Tag Championships are gorgeous. They honestly need to just bring those over here, rename them, put a new design on them as far as like WWE instead
Yeah.
of NXT UK, and just use those because those things
Yeah.
are amazing. But like every title they had in NXT UK felt like prestigious, felt beautiful. It was just really well done, and so they definitely need to hire whoever that person is because those were amazing.
100% agree. When they when I did the merger with NXT, they
Yeah,
should have kept the NXT UK titles instead of the uh regular NXT ones. Oh,
yeah,
like did half and half, like
yeah.
so, like because the NXT like the heavyweight championship, the main ones, the
Mm.
men's champion and the women's champion, like those aren't bad. Like I don't mind those
Yeah, those
designs, but
aren't
the
bad.
other like the tag team titles should have been
Tag
kept as
team
the
titles
UK
should have got
ones.
released. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they could have
Uh,
used the UK. They could have honestly kept the UK title and had it as a second mid card for them.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, and then that way you don't have to. You could replace that with the cup. You don't have to do the cup thing.
Yeah, you used to have
Uh,
yeah. So they're basically
yeah,
doing it, but with a cup and like just have that title,
right.
and it
Just
looks
have the
so
belt.
good.
Right.
And instead of
Exactly.
NXT UK, the European.
Yeah. Yeah. That's facts. And then you bring back a historical aspect. People would love
Yes.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if William Regal presented it to the person who won a tournament for that, that'd
Yeah.
be beautiful. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So no, that'd be dope. So there's a lot of cool designs out there. It's just they kind of gotta figure out how they want to go. I'm hoping Endeavor, it's still touch and go and seeing like what do they prioritize? Do they prioritize just entertainment or like
Yeah.
making wrestling fans happy? You know what I mean? Where Triple H was more wrestling fans happy. Obviously, Vince was more entertainment. So we'll see where they land. And hopefully, maybe in the middle. Who knows? But hopefully, they like, hey, let's not just make titles just to sell merch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe bring
But yeah,
back the spinner US title was the best spinner title.
bro,
Did you so this spinner
that
one?
ruined
What do you
titles,
mean? That
bro.
that spinner US title looked the best. The WWE one was all right, but like again, somebody else won it, it should have been changed back. Like whenever The Rock and Austin had their title, their custom titles, when
Yeah,
somebody won the championship, they wouldn't carry around those.
right,
They brought in a different title,
right.
like or they brought the original back. You know what I'm saying? So when Cena
Yeah,
lost, they should have brought the original back
those custom titles are
with
stupid
those.
too. Like I'm not for custom titles.
You don't
Like
like the Brahma Bull title?
no, this is dumb. Like just because you won the title doesn't mean you get your own title. No, you
The
keep the
ones they're
title. That
doing, they're the ones they're doing now. Like they did the Undertaker one, and they did
yeah,
like an Edge one, of the I think it's the
I saw
Intercontinental.
that too.
Those
That
look
shit was
cool.
ugly. The
What?
Edge one was ugly as hell, bro. The Edge one,
I
I
don't
was
know
like,
about
bro, y'all
that.
didn't have to do Edge like that, bro.
I don't know about
Blue
that.
and the weird blue. Yeah,
Uh, because he's from Canada. It's the Maple Leaf colors.
I mean, I get it, but it's just like
Come on now.
I don't know. I mean, it's cool if like you do it just to sell merch. I get it, but no, not ever put
Yeah.
that on television, like
No,
ever.
no, no, yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Um.
I hope they change the tag titles.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping to. I'm
Get
hoping
rid of,
they
put them back
unify
to
them.
one belt. Yeah, just let it go one belt. If they're gonna carry around two, let somebody challenge for one or the other. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
you know?
They definitely need to do that because title. And I mean, I like the fact that they want the titles to be relevant, so they put it on like the top factions. But and I like that. That's always kind of been a normal formula. But yeah, I needs to be a tag team, and I need to be unified, good looking belts.
Yeah. Or do like
Um,
one red and keep one blue one if you're gonna go that route.
yeah, something I don't know, but
Yeah.
stop with the whole color coded. And that's kind
Yeah.
of
And
trash to
then
me.
like
But
the helmet, like it has the helmets like
oh,
Austin. Like, yeah, give me
the worst.
yeah. Bring the NXT UK Tag Team Championships to the main roster. Just
I
do that.
agree.
Just do
I
that.
agree. Well, Pat, I appreciate you hopping on with me, bro. I apologize for what I had to do to you in that draft,
He didn't do nothing, bro. We got
but
good, evenly booked shows that run by very creative individuals that are gonna have success with each show, and mine's have a little bit more success, but you know, they're both gonna be must watch.
yeah, you might be right. I think you're right about that. But yeah, Pat, I appreciate you stopping through. Definitely having you back. And yeah, folks, we out. Yeah.